been having just give a fair warning. I've had a pretty bad depression episode this week, so if I get a little distant, it's because of nobody. But anyway,
It's all good.
but I have this to help me. So plus I'm hanging out
Hey.
with you awesome
Uh,
people. um, what about Pocket?
Oh, Trek has so originally Trek was going to run today, but then something ended up coming up. He had something planned with Summer. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, something.
But
Um,
Bob said he might be
oh,
able to make it, but it sounds like he wouldn't be jumping in until like halfway or
Yeah.
after that.
gotcha. Cool. Oh, I'm about as ready as you guys are for an adventure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's can you play some nighttime Skyrim music?
Oh shit, I got you.
Cool. All right. So what I would like to do, I kind of remember some of the story beats from last game, but I was kind of maybe thinking we can sort of like as a group, sort of like piece together what happened last session because I know a lot of it was just like what everyone had done over the last 4 months, and I'll speak for the people who aren't present. Pocket spent about the next 4 months or so designing some new technology. He designed a kind of like a. It reminds me of what character is it? Anyway, it's like the like the little lava pistol wrist gun type thing. And it just kind of ploops
Yeah,
out. He also made a sort of like
it's stupid.
an armored suit that's flexible, similar to that of like maybe like Iron Man, kind of in that sense that it covers the body, which I think is interesting because
Yeah.
Pocket so far that's been something that's not really talked about a lot, but his whole character is head to toe always concealed. So like he's never like no one really sees what's going on, So it's just cool. Anyways, Null also spent some time helping Zafriel with his enchanted weapon, sort of infusing some holiness, some cord juice in there, mix it up with the arcane, kind of poop something out. Zafriel also took some time to sort of like double down as like property manager of the place, basically, and just kind of like make sure things are moving efficiently along and getting taken care of and whatnot. Endless spent a lot of time doing research on the undead and the potential, of like maybe controlling the undead. That's where he met Raiden, and by consequence was what's the word? Inducted? No. What's the word?
Yeah, inducted, yeah.
Kinda.
Not abducted. It's like
What?
anyways,
Inducted.
it's a word for
Indoctrinated.
it's a word for it's the verb or something to represent like someone joining the group, the act of joining a group. Anyways,
Inducted.
yeah, okay, all right. So I was right. Let's see here. Am I missing anyone?
I think that was it.
Yeah. What else? I mean, obviously, Fia and Troxy had, due to advertisements, came to the Tower of the Standing Bear, and became honorary members. What other things happened while? I'm not bringing it up.
We found Safrin where Safrin was staying, and had probably the coolest conversation in the entire game with the two goblins talking, which was fantastic.
That was one of my
course.
favorite parts.
Found
dude.
out
I loved it.
that dude, I was telling I can't remember his actual name, Pocket, about that blood sword loop idea I came up with the infinite mug
He
and
told
blood I
me
told you
about
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I told you too, but I I sent him a video of me talking as Pocket, asking the group members for blood, and it was just he loved it. I love the Goblin chat. It's my favorite thing, and that's why Troxy actually can speak Goblin.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna let Pocket know till yet. Anyway, but yeah, I had the awesome Goblin. Found out that Safrin sold her boots. And
that was one of my favorite parts. Is like the party was like, oh, we found the boots. They know the boots, and they do a slide, and it's like fucking in the window. They're like, oh fuck, because like what movie? I don't know. Every movie ever that's totally been a thing, and I love that I was able to like sort of throw it in there.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, this is actually happening. All right, let's go. And then I was like, nice. And then we all kind of headed off that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I think that was about it, right?
Yeah, the whole inductory meal thing, and then packed up and shipped out.
Yeah. Okay.
I talked to Zafriel about my visions that involved him and the Standing Bear and the Abominations and some person named Radagaster.
Also, Claire, I can hear. I'm totally. You can say it however you want because this is a game that we all make up in our heads, but it's also like it's Radagast, like almost like a ghast, like a ghost. But I also think it's funny that like it's like you add the e because like you're still saying it right. You're just adding an er at the end. And I love it. I love it.
I just imagine Nixon from Futurama doing the shake. That's great. I love Nixon in that show. Anyway, let it guess. Anyways.
Wow. Right, the dog is being such a puppy right now. Gosh. All right.
So cute.
So, we are going to pick up. You guys have done a full day's worth of traveling. Oh my goodness! Wow. And by the end of the day, you're able to get like some solid ground. You did have to, you kind of sort of meandered around for about an hour and a half when you initially left the city just because of the influx of people coming in and out. Especially in this time of year, it's like just popping. Merchants are like up and down these major roads. It's like actually springtime is a lot of the time of year where, you know, would-be starter adventurers would like get their work because like merchants are traveling so often and they need hired hands to protect their wares. But being able to cover a considerable amount of ground that day, Zafriel projects that you guys should be at the tower within the next like 4 to 5 hours of travel in the next day. So, as we set up, we're pulled. You guys have pulled off to the off the road where. Along these major roads, it's just pot-marked with campsites that people just often end up just reusing. So what you end up coming upon, it almost looks like a groomed campsite that you might find at like a lake. You know what I mean? So like there's like a large fire that's already been put out, and the ashes in the pit are like only slightly black. So someone probably stayed here within the last 2 days. And like there's a large area where the large tall grass has been flattened and sort of like naturally now lays low, giving you guys plenty amount of room around to sort of set up your camp, especially with this rather large traveling caravan. The campsite itself is maybe like 50 feet away from the main road. Like it's just like a hop and a skip, really. You have about like an hour and a half or so left of sunlight, as the sun now is starting to get to the point where you're going to start seeing those transitioning, like, you know, lighter pinks and darker oranges.
So I guess I'll go first. Troxy is she's been in her bear form the whole time. This is very natural for her. Sometimes she tries to talk to everybody, but then she keeps forgetting, just like how you forget that you're on mute. Sometimes she forgets that when she talks in bear, no one else can understand what the fuck she's saying.
Right. I love it.
And she gets mad. Anyway, we're next to a lake, right?
No, actually, you are right now, like, you're maybe, like, I'd say about 12 miles away from the, capital. So, like, I mean, you can see the werewood off, like, several, like, miles to the east, but the largest body of water that you're closest to is the ocean and the coastline, and you're traveling away from the coastline right now.
Troxy is gonna kind of like do a backflip in the air as a bear, and like as she's like mid, like her back's kind of like stretching out, she like rolls up into like a weird ball as she like kind of forms into a bird, a hawk, and she like
wait, do you have a fly? Hold on, do you have a fly speed? I think you have to, if you're when you're a druid, I think you have to be a certain level to be able to transform into things with a fly speed.
Oh really? Okay, let me see.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, man. I hate it.
That's some bullshit. Let me see here.
Yeah, it says like it basically goes like what?
8th level. 8th level. That is some bullshit. Okay, anyway, we're in the middle of plains, right?
Yes. Also, while you're thinking, can you just roll a performance check to see how well you do with your little circus act?
Bet.
Dude, we just need to get you a little tiny bite, like the Russian bears.
You know what's funny is like basically stupid. Basically, before every battle and before she has someone throw her into the battle, she's gonna tell them, just say something about my height. Just say something mean about my height, because that's what gets her enraged, right?
Sure,
and then someone says it, and then they just chuck her.
I like everyone like uniquely coming up with an insult about your height every time we go into battle.
I feel like sometimes I want them to roll a d20 of like how personal the insult feels, and then sometimes she'd be like, I know that you're trying, but that was fucking rude. 9 plus athletics, right?
Yes.
So that'd be a 14.
Oh no, not athletics, performance.
Okay.
But you did argue athletics.
She is just doing a backflip. It's not like she's doing it for anyone else. She's just doing it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, why not? What's your total?
14.
As you sort of like I imagine maybe you were riding on the wagon for this last portion of the trip, and as you're sort of like kind of like getting your things all ready together, you spring and leap off, do a perfect tuck, like your knees come up to the chest, and you do a very quick flip, like you flip right at the apex of your jump, so like you come down already, feet landing towards the ground. As you kind of curl back up, as you spring back up, do you want to turn into another animal that's not a bird?
What would be a good animal to hunt food in plains? Does anyone have a good idea?
Roll a roll a nature check for me.
Okay. Ooh, full 5.
5? Well,
Can I give her?
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I wanted to as well.
Okay, so how do you want to assist her? So, like, you see, Fia.
I'm just gonna start like guessing, like what I think. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna start guessing what I think it is. So maybe a coyote.
Okay. Yeah. Why not? She right when she right when she lands, she does a backflip, rolls up, and then like you see her like the color of her change into a coyote. She lands on all 4 feet, and then she just goes fucking sprinting into the distance.
Yeah, dude, and you leave like a dust cloud that's the rough shape of a coyote as you just dart into the tall grass, and as you are darting through the tall grass, it's whipping past your face, and it's almost even kind of whipping you in the eyes. But the adrenaline of like being in this form for the first time just like exhilarates you. Explain the feeling as you start running up a hill, and as you break to the surface of it, you will get to a point where you're out of the tall grass, and as you kind of take in the scenery around you, describe the feeling it feels to feel like a coyote.
She just takes a deep breath, and she just kind of recalls back to being with her mama bear, the great white mama bear on the hunt, just walking. The things that she loves more than anything is nature, and she just sees a kingdom of love, of chaos, of savagery, but also of connection. And she just lets out like this, like just the biggest howl that she can muster.
And as the howl starts to leave your lungs, it starts to turn into like this cackle like a coyote does, as it sort of start chirping as you. Okay, go ahead and make a perception check at advantage because of your canine senses.
And I'm proficient in it, so that's great. Okay, that's a 17. 15, so 17 plus 5, so that's 22.
22.
23.
Yeah,
22.
As you start to dart down the other side of the hill, right as you're running down, your right ear perks up naturally and without your control, and you hear a rustle through the tall grass, and you do the most fucking e-brake 180 turn as your ass slides a little bit down the hill, and you change trajectory and dart off, and you make one big leap, and as you come down with your nose like almost like a dart into the tall grass, you hear as you look down, and you now have like a large hair hanging in your teeth.
She does, and she's a good person, by the way. Let me just say that she's a good person to animals and people. But when it comes to hunting, when she grabs it, she just starts shaking the shit out of it.
Yeah, it's like a dog getting a new toy.
Dog, yeah, man. Like she's just shaking the shit out of it.
Roll for toy.
Get out of here. It's getting too difficult. 12.
12? As you sort of like, you start and you do the one last little you shake it, and it like the piece of skin that you had been kind of gnarling on and wailing back and forth becomes detached, and the rabbit itself kind of flies like 2 feet before it falls back down in the tall grass.
She just goes chasing.
And while that's going on, Fia, as you see Troxy just sort of like dart off in the shape of a coyote, it leaves you now here with the rest of the group that are kind of like getting camp set up. You look over, and the sun now is like, probably about an hour left or so, and it's just starting to come down, and you feel this like burst of heat from the sun, and it just like melts into your skin and sort of like becomes part of you. What are you doing?
I'm gonna ask Safrin, I just knew about that gas.
Yeah, so as you kind of look around, Zafriel seems to be pretty busy. He seems to be doing something inside of the mobile home. Endless is also inside the mobile home. They seem to be probably having some kind of conversation. So far, the only member available to talk to is Pocket and Raiden. Sorry, I'm still getting used to everyone's names. But you see the two of them kind of just sitting there. Pocket's putting together a big fire for tonight.
Pocket, do you know where we're headed?
He just kind of looks over at looks back at you, then looks over at Raiden. Look, guys, not gonna lie, it's probably not gonna be pretty. This is like it's an abandoned research facility. I don't know. It's Radagast.
So do you know how far away we are? How many days
I was just talking to Zafriel earlier. He said we'll probably be there before lunchtime tomorrow. I would start to keep your guard up. And he looks at the both of you now, at you and Raiden, and he says, have you guys even ran into these guys? Honestly, they're kind of cute.
Have I ran into them before?
Let's see here. Have you been staying in Urim for a period of time now? Do you imagine? Well, actually, with your background, yes, you would be familiar with the abominations. You've never like battled one, but like you're aware of it being a problem and whatnot.
So I know what they are, but I haven't seen one.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen one. Listen, I'm tonight.
He just looks over at you, Raiden.
Yeah, I've heard of them, and I think I've seen one or two.
Have you fought any of them?
No, I don't think so.
Oh God, don't let them... Okay, let me just give you a quick warning. If they ever scratch you, they bite you, heck, if they even slobber on you, and you start to feel a little funny, you gotta let us know, cause that shit is gonna make you sick.
Has that happened before?
Yeah, and you see him sort of get, momentarily a little, deflective. Yeah, anyway. I think, see ya. And he just gets up and walks away.
He's an odd fellow.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Sounds like he is.
Yeah.
It's about this time you guys start to hear a rustling through the large grass, the tall grass rather, and at first it kind of maybe spooks you if you weren't paying close enough attention in the first place, but you quickly realize it's a like slightly covered in blood coyote that like it's just like mostly the mouth and a little bit of the gruff is covered, and it just has like a hair that's like maybe half the size. It's like maybe like 12 pounds. It's a decent sized rabbit.
Nice.
Wow, look at you.
She's a little excited as you see her tail kind of like wagging a little bit, and she kind of looks at you, like walks over to you and just like drops the hair in front of you, kind of pokes and pushes it, pants a little bit, and then she goes rushing right off into the tall grass to go hunt food for herself now.
You gave it to who?
the party. She brought food for the party, but she had she was like panting, like kind of smiling, tail wagging as she like pushed it, and then she just rushes back into the tall grass.
By all means, that's totally doable, but also the hair that you got would be serviceable for at least 2 people.
She doesn't really know.
That's totally fine.
I don't really know that.
You're just trying to hunt.
Yeah, she's just like she.
Go ahead and roll.
Well, now she got food for them.
Right.
So now she's getting food for herself.
Let's just go ahead and roll a perception check again at advantage.
Raiden just looks at Fia. Do you know how to cook? Like, just holding the rabbit.
Catch the rabbit on fire.
Right, yeah. Right as you say that, Raiden, she just looks at you and like for a second, like you see like a flame that sort of like backlights her eyes for just a second, and she reaches down and just simply places her hand on the hair on the rabbit, and it just lights on fire, and you just instantly smell the awful smell of like burnt hair just like waft up, and she just kind of sits there as she's like oddly lit from the rabbit that's on fire in front of her. It's just like it's pretty nuts.
Raiden's just unfazed, like, all right, I guess that's how you cook a rabbit. And he just drops it.
I wait till the hair is cut off and it's crispy, and then I say, "Yeah, do you like barbecue?"
I think so. I don't know if I've had it.
As she says that, she kind of removes some of the flesh, because at this point, it's pretty scorched. But when you remove it, like because of the intense heat that wasn't necessarily applied evenly throughout the body, like the first like maybe quarter inch of the muscle tissue is cooked. Most of it is burnt black, and everything else is obviously still raw.
When I see that, I'm like, obviously, it's not done.
Flip it over, do it again.
You what?
And then I start a regular fire, and I pretend like I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Wow, I've never seen a chef at work. Interesting.
So what was that check?
So I rolled a 17 and a 15 with advantage of 17, so that would be a 22.
Okay, so over the next it probably only will take you like maybe 15 minutes. They're like the hairs are pretty common around here, and quicker than not you're able to return back to camp with a little bit of a smaller hair, but it's about equal in size.
So she just like walks over, looks at the two, looks at what happened to the hair. Like situational. Did you like recook it, or is it just there?
Raiden just points at Fia.
You do.
I didn't.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was asking out of game.
Oh yeah. By the time you get back, like you can the smell of burnt hair is still sort of lingering in the space. But by the time you get back, Pocket has helped Fia kind of start properly, cooking the rabbit.
So she turns. I'll keep her as a coyote for now. It's kind of fun. She kind of just walks over and looks at everyone, and looks at the fire, and she just kind of lays down like a dog does, and then she just starts ripping this hair apart and just eating it like a coyote, just sitting there.
And it's so good, dude. It's so good. This rabbit,
so
is
fresh,
so tasty. You can tell why the back legs especially are pretty good, because it's just so that the muscle is just so muscly. I don't know. And it's also really stringy. That makes it fun to eat because you kind of have to pull it apart.
It's just this one time where she gets to the intestines and she puts her leg down and she pulls at the intestines really hard, and then she stops and just looks at everyone's reactions.
Patrick just like sits there, not really phased. How do you guys react when you see this display?
I cheer her on.
Raiden's not really even noticing. He's just kind of looking kind of at everyone.
Yeah, so you like look over to see like if they're gonna freak out. Most of them either aren't paying attention or aren't phased, but then you do see Fia just like, yeah, like doing some like fist pumps or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she checked because in her head she goes, "Oh, they're from society. Is this okay?" Apparently it is. Which she will remember that, by the way. She will remember that she thinks this is normal. So that's great. When she sees Fia, she starts doing that like that tail wag that dogs do when you just look at them. And then she just starts biting it and just trying to rip it even like harder, even like kind of growling a little bit.
And right as that you do that last tear, it and just like an awful amount of like digested food spills out of the intestine, kind of like lands on the ground and a little bit up into your fur, and it instantly smells awful. It is bad. And like
she just does that whole.
Go for it.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just
okay. After she just does that whole little like with the food, just throws it back, eats it, and then just keeps going.
Yeah, you filthy animal. Yeah, you do. And as the night goes on, everyone is able to eat their rabbit cooked, to varying degrees of, cookedness. Is there anything you guys wanted to do this evening or anything else before we jump to the morning?
No.
Okay.
After she eats, and she kind of leaves like the bloody bones there, I guess, because she doesn't know any better. She uses mold earth to make a little burrow on the inside of the ground, and she just kind of goes in there and she curls up, and she'll use mold earth again to close it. But then what you'll notice, if you kind of easily look around the camp, there's a whole bunch of these little holes that create vents for oxygen. She's on the ground sleeping.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah, right. That's cool. Huh?
Like a little badger mole.
But as a coyote.
I love it. So as you all go to sleep for the night, can I have everyone roll perception checks at disadvantage? First roll of the night, everybody. Woo! Wait, hold on. Actually, Evan, real quick, do you need to eat or sleep?
I don't need to eat or sleep, I wouldn't say.
I'm just not sure if that's a feature of the race or not.
A feature of it is I don't need to eat or breathe.
Oh, but you
drink.
You still need to sleep though.
Let me look just in case. I wouldn't see it being a necessity, but let me check.
I rolled a nat 1, so she's sleeping peacefully.
Great.
Too peacefully, maybe.
Okay. I'm only asking because if I don't want to make you roll a perception check if you don't even have to sleep. I'll just make you roll regularly because you're not, I guess, asleep. I don't know. Yeah, because that's just supposed to represent the fact that you're sleeping. Okay.
Let's see.
I can just see all of us sleeping, and his big Warhammer Marine just sitting there, just staring off in the distance.
So I have no organs of poison, so I'm immune to poison. I lack the need for food, drink, or breathing. Dead resemblance. You have the benefit. You only need to sleep for 4 hours to gain the benefit of a long rest.
So you're like an elf.
So I sleep, but very shortly.
Yeah, it's like half. Yeah, because like elves also have they have like a trance, and it's also 4 hours. So, okay. So then you also in this instance would still roll at disadvantage.
Okay. 22.
At disadvantage.
I rolled a 19 and a 17.
Damn.
Plus 5.
Okay. Through the night, because no one took up guard, you are. Where are you sleeping in this camp, Raiden?
I wouldn't say he kind of is like the only person that knows his identity was English, so he might stay with English, but being like 800 pounds, I don't think he really stays in the wagon. So he just kind of goes over to a tree and just like sits down.
Right. Okay. I like it. We'll say there's like actually a nice big oak tree that's probably a couple hundred years old because it's like maybe 4 feet in diameter. It's like a large stumpy tree. As you kind of lean up against it, you sort of your bones sort of rattle in your chest, like a tingle that would go down your spine if you had flesh.
Rattle me bones.
Exactly. Oh, give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna go take my pup outside.
Okay.
I feel like Fia and Troxy are gonna be best friends. The fact that you just watch her just like uncivilized eating, and you're just like, yeah, just get in there, yeah, you know, like. Oh, that was great, and I just love how Raiden just is almost in the same boat as Troxy. Doesn't know how people do things, and he's like,
yeah,
he must be a master chef.
He literally just kind of watches like the whole time. I'm surprised nobody picked up on this. He's not eating at all. Like anytime the party eats, he doesn't eat.
Well, this would be. I guess this would be only the second time.
Like at the feast, all that food, nothing. He just kind of sat there, and then during that, he just sat there. He just kind of sits and looks at everybody, just you know, just like people watching and just kind of observing everybody.
He's like a person who can't have red meat anymore because their stomach can't handle it, and their friends are eating steak, and it's like, what's its texture? You know, like.
He can taste it. It just goes right to like on the floor.
Wait, how does he taste it?
Magic. He's like arcane. Like he's imbued.
Magic.
Like he's imbued with magic. I don't know. It's into like the thing like you can you can feel, because they were like, you know, you can't feel pain, but they're like you can feel, touch, smell, and taste. But if I drink something, it just goes right to the floor. Like there's nothing to go to.
Interesting. Okay.
It's like Captain Barbosa. Like, he drinks wine, just turns like it looks like blood all over him.
I guess he could have like a little secret compartment inside his ribs when he's in the soup, and like when he eats or pretends to eat, it just goes in there, and then he just empties it later.
Oh, there's a lot of description of how he's decorated as a skeleton. He has like little doodads and baubles and potions hanging from his rib cage. Just like anything he needs, he just like opens it, just throws it out like a grenade in there.
I can just see like when we're all walking from the day, he's like, oh, the food's getting rotted. He just like opens his back and it just like falls out, closes the back, and just.
I mean, where do you think his homunculus hangs out? He's got a little hammock like thing in there with like a light.
That's cool.
It's like VMAC all over. He's got like a whole thing, like a bookshelf.
A bookshelf.
Raiden, as you're sitting there leaning up against the tree, your bones are rustled, and you stir awake. And do you like sleep in your armor?
Yeah.
Okay. Is like your visor like up or down? Does it matter?
He can see out of it.
Okay. As you sort of like open, well, as consciousness comes to your skeletal eye sockets, rather.
Yeah.
It's like a television.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Literally, because they're blue, so just.
What's happening? Oh, she just needs a sec, so she just left. Anyways, as you're sitting there, you're rustled awake because you hear sort of the sound of like a cawing crow almost. I just heard oh! As you wake up, you sort of like I don't think you have dark vision, right?
Yeah, 60 feet.
Yeah, right. Your eyes almost immediately adjust to the fire. That's still at this point kind of coming to a low burn. And the pile of bones and like uneaten bits of flesh that Troxy had left earlier from the hare that she was devouring for her meal, you can see that there was like quite a large black bird that sort of like what's the word?
Perched.
Perched. I was thinking proach. I'm like, that's not right. Right. It's sort of perched over the corpse. And you do see a second one sort of flying in like a lazy circle above the camp. And that's it.
Like on the rabbit's corpse?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can I tell how many hours have passed or time since I fell asleep?
You kind of look up. It's a bit of a cloudy night, but you're still able to track the moon. Probably about 3 hours in. This is just right till the end of you gonna wake up soon, basically.
Man, I had another hour. What's going on? Those are crows. I read about them.
It caws a second time, but this caw almost sounds like you're hearing it externally, but you're also hearing it internally, if that makes sense. And as you hear the second caw, it kind of sets you back for a second, and at this point, you are now awake. All cards off the table, all bets off the table. You sort of keep looking, and the one that was sort of flying in a loose circle starts to sort of come down, and it lands near the other crow that's feasting on the corpse, and it does a little hop hop. Do you want to do anything?
Yeah, he'll get up almost like a robot without having to push off the ground, just with the legs
Yeah, like the hydraulics, basically.
yeah, and he'll just kind of walk over to the crows to just kind of just look at them, but also see what they're kind of doing.
Can you make an animal handling check as you approach?
Sure.
Who are you?
Dude, man, the first two rolls really set the tone because I rolled a 19 plus 2, 21.
Oh, yeah.
As you sort of you're a large elephant form. It's hard to not be intimidating if you have the best, even if you have the best intentions. Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that snacks?
Yeah.
Wow. I just got snacks, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Anyways, as you take a couple steps, they don't even really pay you mind. Almost like the same way when the crow is literally fucking chilling on the freeway, and it doesn't move until you're right at its fucking door, and it just casually bup gets off the road. You know what I mean? Very much like that. You're able to get actually pretty fucking close to these crows before the last step you take, which is going to put you maybe almost within arm's length. You make that step, and they in unison, like the twins from The Shining. They look up at you, but the eyes have a very distinct human quality that you specifically picked up on because it's something which you lack. And it's a very deep orange yellow color as they stare at you, and they fly up in a stirring type of manner because of you spooking them. Doing so, displacing a lot of black feathers that just sort of fall and disperse throughout the space. As you look up, though, you don't see birds flying away. They seem to disappeared in this flurry of feathers.
That's odd, very peculiar. Some kind of weird magic or trick at play here. If they flew up, but just poof.
You can make an Arcana check if you'd like.
Yeah.
Are you proficient?
Nobody has a +5 anyways.
So that's fine. It's just relevant.
Yeah, 15.
Because of your study of the arcane and your like knowingness of how to sort of like bip bop bip and kind of just throw it all together, you are familiar with the idea of like a familiar. The sense that you got from it, you didn't have any clue until you literally made eye contact with them and they flew off. But it's sort of energy, its essence you picked up on was definitely that of a familiar.
Homunculuses, maybe, or some familiar. Somebody's watching our approach, I'm sure. Well, and he kind of looks around, like, to see if the coyote's still there, Troxy, and, like, the wagons, anything out of place from where it was, kind of thing.
I'm underground.
Yeah,
Well, does he still see the burrow, basically?
Yeah, you take a quick glance around camp, and at this moment, the whatever amount of adrenaline that had been building has now died down, because your realization of it may help, but like the danger's gone, and as you look around the camp, it doesn't seem disturbed whatsoever. You don't see any threats in the immediate area, and you wait. You kind of take a look around, and you're diligent to sort of like be confident that there's nothing that's going to hurt you while you finish the last hour of your sleep. But things start to calm down, and nothing really happens until. Actually, no. That's the only encounter for tonight. So as you go back to sleep and finish the little power nap that you have left, you sort of spend the rest of the night doing.
I wanted to do something.
Go for it.
So he'll go back to the same tree and sit down, but he kind of like, I didn't have a name for my pot yet. I was thinking Potterton, but anywho, he's like, Potty, come out here. And he like, almost like a little door hatch on his shoulder opens, and he did onto his shoulder, like just with his little stubby legs. He's like, you keep watch. I'm gonna get another hour of sleep.
Yeah, he just kind of jumps up, and the little lid that he has, it kind of like comes up and then falls back into place, and it makes this sort of like clank, which you interpret as a sign of he's got the message.
Cool.
Or they've got the message, if you know. The rest of the hour goes just by fine, and the rest of it, as you wake up, it's just past midnight, and the rest of the time before everyone else wakes up, you have some. So if you'd like to do anything, let me know.
He just kind of takes out his bag of holding and just kind of takes out a book and just reads. Just kind of sits there and reads.
Okay, great.
It's a book about nature, and he's actually looking at the predator section for planes, and he's like, coyote, huh?
You can tell that this book is... Well, I guess... Actually, would you be able to tell that this book is out of date?
He probably thinks it's outdated knowledge, but it's better than nothing.
Okay, alright. Because some of the descriptions of some of the coyotes that are listed in this book seem to be a little bit of a stretch. So you're wondering if like this author may have had like some sort of bias against coyotes.
Maybe a plains wolf would have been better. I don't know. A lot of weird stuff about coyotes.
Yeah, there actually is. It goes into a lot of detail about them, and you feel like maybe he was trying to prove some sort of point. But what a way to do that with this book.
And he just continues to read.
As the night goes on, everyone else finishes their long rest, and as the morning starts coming up, Troxy, you are awakened with the smell of a stew cooking. It smells very good, very savory, and as you sort of like you come out of the ground and there's like a small cartoon pile of dirt still left on the bit of your nose, and you kind of shake it off. You look over and you see Endless and Pocket are like kind of like shoulder to shoulder sitting next to the fire preparing what smells like some sort of stew, and Endless sort of like, oh hey, mammoth stew, it's the greatest thing ever. And this morning mammoth stew is served for everybody who would like to eat.
She was like when she morphed the earth and reopened it, as she like comes out and gets the dirt on her and takes it off, and she just looks at it and she's like, that drooling, because like one, she got that extra special nose, which is just like drooling.
Yeah, and you start like flying like someone would towards a pie in the window.
No.
She's just like very like in a trance, walking forward, and just like when she gets a bowl, she just like eating the shit out of that fucking bowl. Like,
Nice.
Now, as you guys sit down, eventually, everyone pretty much gets about halfway through the meal when you hear slam. Everyone looks up in sort of a bit of a shock, and you see Zafriel now standing, very tall and proud, now walking out of the mobile home, and the door is still kind of like going back and forth from the amount of force that was used to open it. Everybody, I have some words I'd like to share. And he just makes his way over to the campfire where everyone's eating. Actually, and it's at this point he looks at the group. Where is Fia? Fia, you slept in this morning. Do you want to describe how you joined the camp?
After he says my name, I rub my eyes and like, I'm over here. I'm not a morning person.
Where did you sleep last night? Do you have like your own tent, or did you just have like a sleeping bag?
I have my own tent. But
Okay.
so I just
You slept next to your tent?
I went by Troxy's burrow, but like sneakily.
Right.
Make sure that she's fine.
You know what? Troxy next time I'm gonna invite you into the burrow. It's safe, it's warm. She'll be a big fluffy bear.
As you're sort of like rubbing your eyes, you see Zafriel look like not impressed. As he looks at you, you get up, you sort of like mosey your way on over, you kind of yawn a little bit as you sit down, and you're handed a big bowl that was like hand carved, it seems. It's a little bit bigger than a personal bowl should be, and it's just full of mammoth stew, and you even see like a bit of like bones sticking out with like some of the bone, the marrow sort of exposed still in it. Now that I have everyone's attention, he sort of at this point puts his hands behind his back, much like a commander would in an army. He starts pacing back and forth. I know I've stressed this a couple of days ago, but I really don't know what we're getting into. And the last time we went there, we almost lost a few. And I don't want that to happen again. So, please, be very careful. And if you need help, call for it. These things... And he, like, stops. He turns away from the fire, and at this point, the sun just barely finishes coming up over the horizon, with the clouds sort of breaking. Are disgusting!
I knew that was coming.
You see you hear Endless sort of chuckle to himself, and like Zafriel kind of darts him a look, just totally throws a dagger with his eyes, and Endless kind of like stops himself from laughing and just kind of like, settles within himself. Now, I plan on leaving in the next 30 to 45 minutes, so if there's anything you need to get done, please get it together and we will get back on the road. And he goes back to the mobile home and closes the door, but doesn't slam it this time. He just quietly closes it.
That's great. Quick question about the mobile home, and this goes to Elder. Elder, real quick, do you think Noel would have finished like the Nordic carving pattern inside of it that Safrin was like halfway done with, or would he just kind of given up on it?
I think he would have. Yeah.
Given up or continued it?
Continued it, like finished it, continued it.
Okay, because I would just feel so bad for Zafir when he like sits in there and he just looks like at the half work design done with his missing bag, and it's like that just be sad. Okay, cool.
He doesn't need the carvings to feel sad. The mobile home alone itself is enough of a reminder.
That's fair. That's fair. She's gonna go relieve herself and go hunting. She's still in kind of informed, but this has not changed.
And for the sake of brevity, whether it be this area, you're not really familiar with this land. It's so far it's your perception that there are just hairs that are like waiting for your mouth for them to be in. It's wild because the second you're like, I want to get one, you fucking find one. It's crazy. This one, however, is a little bit of a tiny little babe. It's like maybe like just barely fully grown, so it's just like in the prime of its life. It hasn't gotten any of that like Urim winter weight, you know.
Okay. She's gonna drop it off to Fia and kind of like poke and look at her and like wag again, and she goes off to go get hers.
And just as quick as the next one, it's actually you realize why you're able to find so many at this point is because there is like a large burrow that you end up finding that is, whether it's because of erosion over time or it's like literally dug out this big because of the amount of rabbits. This hole is maybe like 4 feet wide in diameter, and it like goes into the earth like a good like 3 or 4 feet that you can fit into still, but then from there it branches off into smaller tunnels that you can't fit. It's crazy. This is a crazy network full of rabbits. With that being said, you're able to find a rabbit just fine. You come back and you're able to eat just as fine. However, Fia had already ate the soup, so I'm sure she appreciates the gift, but you're kind of bringing her the rabbit as she's like halfway through her stew. She like kind of looks down.
And Fia will she'll go right next to Fia, like lay down, and sees the rabbit, sees the ball, goes, "Oh, I just eat more than them. Fair enough." And it's like, doesn't even care. And then she just starts eating that motherfucker just raw again. And like, it was still alive, like kind of when she brought it back, like it was still like, and then she just like grabbed his neck and then just broke its spine and then just started eating.
Yeah, you just hear the last breath of air leave the rabbit.
You know, I read a book about coyotes last night. It was unequivocally weird. I think the writer was biased towards them, but it was a great read.
Raiden, can you please come up with a weird fact about coyotes that this author put into the book that's clearly not true?
That's what I was just about to ask. That's great.
Yeah,
It was something like they would screech so loud it would stun rabbits or something. It was way out of left field, I think.
Well, maybe that's why she's found 6 rabbits.
I don't true, but I don't know.
I want to attempt to perform that screech.
Make a performance check. And I'll give you like a +1 for your spunk.
That's gonna be a 14.
You perform the best shriek you can. It's like a combination of the sound of like a cackle coming from a coyote mixed with like a whimper. It clearly doesn't sound like a sound that you can even muster as a coyote, and to even hear it is like very strange, and you immediately become unsure if like how true that might be.
Yeah. Wait. So does he believe it? Does he believe that that's now a thing?
Well, okay, Raiden, just roll a straight intelligence check. The DC is going to be 13. If you roll lower than 13, this is something this is something you believe.
I rolled exactly a 13.
That just barely beats the DC. As you like you were kind of on the fence, to be honest. Like if this was even real, like yeah, your undead life experience hasn't been the total greatest amount yet, but you have enough wherewithal that you weren't sure. And now seeing the performance by Troxy, it confirms it. Definitely not a thing.
I mean, not very convincing. I think it was pretty outdated knowledge.
So as the morning goes on, everyone makes their preparations to get back to get the caravan back to moving. You take about another 2 hours to just travel down the main road, but eventually you get to a point where you have to sort of pull off. And you all see Zafril as he is leading the caravan with the mobile home at the front. Is anyone deciding to like walk next to the caravan in this moment, or is everyone just kind of posted up in a wagon? I imagine actually that Raiden is probably walking, right?
Yeah, Raiden's walking. I don't know if many of the wagons can support his weight.
Yeah, you need like
Proxy's in coyote form, so
Okay.
she's walking, and she kind of fangirls over how cool Zephyriel is. Like she feels like he's like a true adventurer, so she's kind of just like kind of observing him while she walks and kind of like tail kind of wagging a little bit.
Sophia, that's funny. Fia, so Endless has a wagon that there's room to ride in. There's also the mobile home inside of it, and there's also a third wagon that's Zafril's.
It's the pre-mobile home that I sold at Hendrickson.
So there are wagons for you to travel in this caravan, or you can just be walking next to it all, because that's about as fast as everything's moving.
I'll be riding in it, but then like in some parts will
Okay. And one of the moments that you start to feel antsy are actually when you start to pull off the road. The inconsistency of the terrain becomes like enough to make you feel a little. So you'd hop on out. Let's see here. Can everyone roll a perception check? And since you're in coyote form, you can have advantage, but that will be based off of your sense of smell. If you want sight, it's just regular roll.
She'll poke her nose up and start sniffing around.
Go ahead and roll for advantage, please.
9.
9? Okay.
9.
Also
15.
As you all start to gaze out, you do start to see, all three of you notice that the path that you're traveling looks like, oh, actually, it's been months. Never mind. Where you're traveling, it's rather bumpy, and like every like 30 or 40 feet, Zafriel stops the mobile home just to check all the bearings and all that shit, so nothing's broken. So the process becomes very much bogged down by just the sheer size of the amount of people and technology that you're traveling with. But over the next 2 hours of traveling off the road, going closer and closer to this tower, Troxy, you start to smell something in the air. It smells like death, but like not like in a fresh, like not like in a fresh kill sort of way. Very much in like the smell of rot lingers in the air, and it's just barely picking up in your little canine nose.
Troxy's body. I'm gonna use like Harry Potter as an influence transformation.
It's all
So
good.
like how
It's
that
all
shit.
good. Dude, however you want to do it, it's all cool.
He like jumps and her like this time instead of a ball, her body like kind of like twists, like it just twists, like swirling as she like becomes back to her 3 foot 40 pound self. Which the coyote was only 6 pounds heavy to her. Coyotes only get about 46 pounds, but everything stays her size. She just kind of stops and she says, "Oh, that's whew, um, whew, okay, that's scary. This place recently of like a dead carcass that's been there for too long. This place reeks of it."
Well, that's gross. Do you know which direction it's coming from?
Right when you say that, the wind picks up and wafts you in the face, Fia, and that smell that she was just describing now hits you like a fucking wall of bricks. And it smells awful. It makes the skin crawl on the back of your neck. Raiden, you're not really affected by it.
Raiden just like, he sniffs his armpit. Oh, that's not me.
Much like a farmer, how they're used to the smell of cow shit.
Yeah. Well, he was sniffing himself, like, you know, like checking his deodorant. He's like, no, it's not me. I'm not that sweaty.
Anyways, please continue, Troxy.
Troxy looks at Zafrin and goes, "Oh, here's this leader. I could say scouting."
Are you saying something about scouting? You're kind of breaking out a little bit. Yes.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard not to be Troxy. It's hard.
It's all good. It's all good.
Considered it. Troxy kind of like looks at that first. She goes, fearless leader of our group. I could, if you wanted me to, I could go scout if that would be useful as like a rabbit. I can turn into like a really fast rabbit, just like hop, and check it out for you. Is that big?
He just looks down at you from atop the mobile home, looks over at the field, and at this point, you guys, I don't know if you remember leaving, but there was like kind of 3 hills that you guys kind of went over. Right now, you guys are atop the 3rd hill, so you can see the tower. It's like probably 150 or so feet away. Like, it's within sight. Zafra looks back over, and without any like verbal response, just kind of nods his head.
She goes, "Okay, cool, awesome, I can do that." And she gets like kind of excited, and she just runs, uses her staff to like hit the ground and like shoot herself upwards like a pole vaulter, and she's gonna like transform into a ball and turn into a let me look up a fast species of a rabbit.
You can go like antelope or some sort of like hooved animal. Those are pretty quick. Like a deer, they're quick.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, you can transform into a cheetah.
I could, yeah. You know what? She'll do that, and if she shoots up, she'll like ball it up again. It's probably shoots into the puppet spot and the cheetah, and she just fucking full sprints.
Hell yeah! So you just sort of take off. You in an effort to conserve energy, you sort of take a wide berth around the hills so you don't have to climb all 3. As you start to approach, you get to a point where I
would like to stalk.
Okay, yeah. So I was about to say, in relation to the tower, where do you want to be?
Wherever, doesn't matter. Wherever you think would be best.
Okay. Well, as you come around the hill, immediately, you see just around the tower itself, just a few straggling abominations, just kind of like moseying there. You look around in the field as you take like, I don't know. I'll say that you're like 50 feet away from the tower. If you don't want to be that close, correct me now. But you start making a wide berth around the tower. You look into the fields that surround it. They're empty. You look out, you see the werewood that's like maybe another day's worth of travel to the east. As you start making it almost all the way around, you get a total count of 5 abominations that are just kind of chilling out front. You do also notice that there is a double wide door that is like half of an oval shape, but the doors appear to be closed. As you finish the loop, go for it.
No, go ahead. So the moment she gets there, my internet is just not working. It's ridiculous. Anyway, can someone look up Cheetah in the game and know like what their point check to stealth is?
I'll give you, let's say it's like, I'll say it's a +4, and I'll give you advantage because of the tall grass, and you're like already kind of low to the ground.
Dude, bad.
Nice.
Nah, fucking 20.
Nice.
So you finish your loop, and you see a patch of grass that's just perfect enough size for you to move around enough to be undetected, and you jump into the grass as you sort of slide to third base, home base. You kind of pop your head through the weeds, and the position that you're at now puts you about 40 feet away from the entrance of the tower.
She's gonna now transform herself into a small little mouse and start with her stealth, start making her way towards the tower.
You make it all the way to the tower. The door itself has about an inch of space beneath it, so it's just perfect for you to fit underneath if you'd like to. As you get closer, though, there are 2 abominations that are kind of just like, one of them appears to kind of like be slapping the other, but like it's slapping it with an arm that's about half the size it should be, and there's like no muscle developed at all. And the other abomination is like, as far as abominations go, like it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't have a lot of like abnormal features, but it appears to be like crying pretty badly. It doesn't seem to be liking that it's being slapped right now. But you're able to kind of sneak right under the door unnoticed.
I mean, she kind of gulps when she sees that. I mean, she's had visions of these things, and now like actually like seeing them, it does freak her the fuck out. But she's like, gotta impress him. I got this. And she just, her little fluffy butt just wiggles on under.
As you enter the tower, make a perception check.
12.
I'm just looking something up real quick. So you also get advantage on this roll because of your keen smell with your nose. And you have you don't add anything to it. It's just, oh, wait a second. Can't you still use your soft stats for ability checks when you're transformed? Yes. Okay, so never mind. Yeah. Use your own wisdom modifier.
Wisdom modifier, okay. For perception?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Then it's gonna be a 21.
Okay.
Nice.
You sort of scurry around the room. This room is covered in bones that are bleached. Like they're very white. And very smooth. You kind of run over them a little bit. They seem like they got put in like a rock tumbler, almost. You notice that there are several scattered pieces of parchment lying throughout the whole room. A lot of broken glass that you assume were like beakers of some kind, some sort of like some scientific instruments, if you will. The thing that strikes you the most immediately in the center of the room is a latched door that's probably about 3 feet wide, and it's propped open right now. You come up to how close do you actually? Before I say anything, that smell of death that you smelled earlier when you approached the tower. This is the smell you were smelling, and now that you're this close, it's really like you almost can't be around the trap door because it's so potent.
So she's just like sitting there, like sitting up, like how you see like some mice, so they sit up with their hands pentagram, and she's got those big eyes, she's blinking, And she's thinking, and she's just like, and she turns into a spider
Okay.
to cover the smell, and she's gonna make her way in. Very cautiously, though.
Okay. Real quick, we're going to pause. Troxy has been gone about 7 minutes now. Do you guys want to continue to sit there and wait for her to come back? Do you want to do anything in this moment, Fia or Raiden?
I think I have message.
You do.
Oh, sorry, I pushed the wrong button, but I said I think I have message. So I'm gonna send Troxy a message and see if she's okay. Troxy, are you okay?
You hear this whisper come into the back of your mouse ears, Troxy, and you go,
Spider.
"Oh, spider!" And you hear, as you hear it trying to crawl into your ear, you go to, and you can't respond because you can't speak.
Is it mentally?
Yeah, you hear it in your head, like as if someone just whispered in your ear.
So can I not respond mentally?
I believe it's a verbal response.
Oh.
If you can
He
you
just
pull
makes-
up message real quick?
Yeah.
If you go to your spells
Oh.
on your character sheet, click the square thing. Spells. Bottom, there you go. Go to 0. Oh, you got it right there. Message. Yeah, it's
and
verbal.
She was in range, too.
She just makes,
She's within range.
She just makes positive clicky noises.
Fia, as you say this, you hear come back in your ear. It sounds like a bug, maybe a spider.
It sounds like she responded, but she might not be informed.
What's new so far? Zafrael, are we gonna go ahead and go, or are we gonna wait for her to come back?
I don't feel nervous yet. I say we give her 3 more minutes, and if we still haven't heard anything, maybe we do something.
And Raiden just nods.
Be ready to move at a moment's notice. Sorry, Fia, what?
Can I send another message to her?
You can do it as many times you want. It's a cantrip.
Okay, I'm gonna send her another message and let her know. If we can't hear from you in 3 minutes, we're gonna notify you. So if you can get to a spot where you can communicate back, I'll send you a message before we leave.
It goes.
That oddly comes through as a definitely sign of got it. Who knew was universal?
Yeah.
So, Troxy, you go down the first bit of stair. The next stair. The staircase after that, though, becomes just kind of wood planks, so you kind of have to crawl on the side of the wall because it doesn't
She'd
kind
be in
of.
the corner.
Right.
She would do like the edge.
Okay.
She would go into the edge. She's more hidden.
Okay. As you make your way down, let me look something up real quick. One second. So you have dark vision. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Make a perception check for me, please, Troxy, with your spider form. That's going to be a you. Oh wait, you use your own wisdom modifier. We already established that. My bad.
At advantage or no?
Nope, just a straight roll.
Okie dokie. 11.
11. As you look around, you don't see anything. Like you see like a dark room, but like as far as anything like standing out that's like gives you any indication of what could be down here, it's not really coming to you. And you kind of take another minute to sort of get your bearings, and this room appears to be like what starts to look like it's about the same size of the floor above, so it's about, I don't know, 40 feet in diameter. You can tell that there are 3 cages in this room. They all appear to be empty. The door is ajar. And I don't know, do spiders have a sense of smell?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it like, now that you're like this far down, for all intents and purposes, you're considered in the basement now. You've kind of like, you're still in the stairwell, but you're at the bottom. And you don't immediately see any sort of humanoid necessarily, at least none that are within sight.
Let me see here.
2 minutes left, Troxy.
I'm gonna attempt another perception check. Is that cool?
No.
Yeah.
You as you get yourself settled in the bottom, yeah, the as you were coming down, you're like, oh, maybe it's just because I'm not in the bottom yet, I can't really see much. And even when you get to the bottom, like, although you have dark vision, you're only really seeing the shapes of cages and like what appears to be corpses on the ground. They look like abominations. They died a long time ago, though. They're very rotted.
She's gonna head back, and the moment she gets into the brushel outside, she's gonna retransform into the cheetah and be stealth her way back.
Okay. You are able to do so, and I just want to ask, just for clarification real quick, how many B shapes can you use per like short or long rest? I think it's determined by your wisdom modifier plus something. I can't remember.
Oh, is it? Okay, I didn't know that. Let me see her.
Do you want to? Yes, that was good.
Okay.
Do you want to share the?
I can only do
last thing.
You can stay in these for. Okay. I wish I could just permanently stay in it for as long as I wanted. It's only for 2 hours. Stupid.
Yeah, that's a higher level druid stuff.
Okay. Okay, 2. Okay, I didn't know that. I'll remember that next time. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's just cool.
Okay, yeah, it's 2 per short rest.
Okay, well, this stint we can just say still happened, but going forward we can just know that.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, because like that's fucking badass. So you guys, all of a sudden, you don't really hear it, the feline coming before it's too late almost, and you hear, and she kind of comes to a skidding stop, and you, because of your druid magic running out, your skidding stop kind of poofs you back into your own self, and you kind of finish your slide on your ass and spring back up at the end of it.
Hiya, I'm back. So, those are gross. The whole thing is gross. But besides of the freaky little abominations that I had in my vision, there's only like maybe in cheetah fingers, about 5. And the basement. I went into the tower, and I went into the basement as a creepy crawly, and I saw corpses not moving. Place seems pretty empty. Empty, yeah.
Zafriel kind of looks down to you all. I recognize that I am looked as a leader here, but I would love to give you all a very good chance to prove yourselves. So, as far as moving forward and what we do next, I will politely leave it up to you. And as he gets off of the mobile home and prepares to get ready for whatever you guys come up with.
I see what you did there. Smart. Troxy is gonna get a whole pouch full of little rocks. That's what she's gonna do for just a while they talk.
That's easy. Yeah.
Why not just... All I'm good at is frontal assault. I can't really do the sneaky peeky things. So I was just gonna walk through the front door.
Raiden sounds very confident in his approach to the tower, As he finishes that sentence, how do you react to that, Fia?
I do have hands, so I'm kind of checking out the tower. I think we need a plan for what to do with the 5 abominations. Because don't they, like, if you have one, don't risk one, especially by the tower?
You wouldn't know that.
I'm asking Zach.
Oh. Yes. Well, I don't know if they have the innate ability to swarm or what. But to be honest, the last time we were here, they seemed to be attracted to the tower. I don't know why. And now, since there's only 5, that surprises me. The last time we were here, there were hundreds.
Well,
If there are the corpses in the bottom, how long were you guys here? Or how long ago was it?
He starts to recall the time that has passed, and it looks painful for him. He takes a moment to respond. It's been about 4 months. It happened last fall.
So, how old do those corpses not give
They looked old. They smelled pretty bad. Hard to tell though.
She's like, "Ooh, wasn't like rusted." Okay, so it wasn't like bones. They're still mushy, gooey, soft, smoky.
That last part broke out. What was that last one?
She's like, it was definitely like, like soft, pokey, mushy texture. The skin could come like right off the bone, kind of like things you just don't want to touch.
huh, good to know. Well, I can distract them for you all if you sneakier types can go through the back door or whatever way you want. I can move pretty damn fast.
I will say, Troxy, you did notice the only way into the tower was the front door, but when you got in, you did notice there was a trapdoor on the ceiling with the ladder that hung down, but it only hangs down like 3 feet, and there's about a 15-foot drop.
She would like that information.
Zafriel now looks to the rest of you all. So, we all know how to get into the tower. How do we proceed? And he just like kind of takes a step back and raises his chin much like an instructor would in an exam.
Do you think we could easily pass that from what you saw, Troxy? Or were there some, like, too close to the tower?
There were 2 of them. I don't know if it's like some domestic abuse relationship or anything like that. But there were 2 of them, and one of them was slapping the other, and the other one was crying. Which is weird. She can like take a little walk.
That last part cut out again. Sorry, Claire.
She goes, yeah, then there were like 2 who, well, this was good. Really close, and it's really the different workers, Raiden thing, they're at those ones, but they just got the other one, the other 2 of them, sorry, outright flame things, and she got like, hits the finger.
Well, Zafriel sort of steps up. If we can just quickly dispatch of these 2, then getting into the tower I don't think will be much of a problem. There was no dangers inside, right, Troxy?
Not from what I can see, and I could probably, it wouldn't be too hard, but I could probably, I don't know, I could probably take care of the 2 at the gate. The closer they are, the easier it is for me to take care of people, or things. And I mean, it's always a murder, not a murder. Yeah.
I want to see how creative you all are. Now, as the oh, go ahead, before.
So, because I have, like, the business intelligence knowledge, like, how much do I know about the
Make a history check. First, 19. So yeah, okay, I'll say yeah, with your business insider sort of information from your background, I would say that like again, you've never had direct contact with the abomination type of creature, but you are aware that fire seems to be something that they do not like.
If all else fails, I can just catch it on fire.
So with that being said, because these abominations, like you guys are almost getting to a point where they're not much of an issue for you anymore. So what I want to do, gosh dang it. I want everyone to sort of like pitch an idea of how like the standing bear takes these two guards out, and we'll do it sort of like in a cinematic sort of way. Well, not guards, abominations rather. Like so, I want everyone to sort of have their own sort of input on the flavor of how it goes down. But how does the standing bear take care of the abominations in front of the tower so they can just go in?
What do you think, Elder? You go first.
Well, Raiden's too damn loud to do any sneaky shit taken down, so
That's fine.
so he would probably stomp up to them and just smash one of them, and then smash the other.
Okay, so Raiden starts to kind of go for this like charge, and you hear thum 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 thum, and some of the mud is kind of wet from prior rain, so it kind of sloshes just a little bit. As he goes in for the strike and comes down on one, Fia, how do you jump in?
Oh, I keep pushing the wrong freaking button. I just use burning hands.
Okay.
Wait, what does that do? Hold on. I'm looking it up, guys.
You're
Alright.
alright.
You could use Firebolt, and that's just a cantrip.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
I was just doing Never mind. I'm gonna do Firebolt and just shoot a fireball at one of them.
Describe the way you conjure the fireball as you throw it. The firebolt, rather.
So I have a quarterstaff, but there's a button that I push to make it extend.
Like a magician's staff, almost, you know?
Yeah, and so it looks like a wand that's like in my pouch most of the time. It's like I have a little holder for it on my belt. But I take it out when I'm gonna use it, and I extend it, and it has like a orb on the top, and the firebolt comes from that.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and roll for damage on that. Raiden, also roll damage for your attack. I won't have you roll to hit, because these guys are really easy to. Troxy, as you see Raiden kind of charge in with the weapon raised above his head coming down, you see Fia just throw a fireball from a staff that just manifests in her hands, essentially. How do you add to this and put the cherry on top?
Troxy's like, okay, I got what you guys are playing now. I got this. And she just like opens, like she like stands like she's about to like like receive praise. She has both her arms out and she looks up into the air, and her body actually starts to float as she starts to like chant these whispering sounds at very high speed. As her eyes glow like they actually look like the light of the moon is glowing through her eyes, as the same color kind of like goes around her in her aura, and as she's floating and whispering from like way above in the sky, a silver beam of pale light slams down and
Moonbeam, everybody.
Yep, and a 5 foot radius on the two standing in front of, and it's made of ghostly flames. And every second it's like it pulses, like it comes down in a pulse, and like it creates like an echo effect in the area with like a burst of wind.
Okay, cool. What weapon is Raiden wielding again?
Gauntlet, so he would be hit by this.
So
Wait.
you what?
Which one did he go for? Because we're going after the 5, weren't we?
Oh well,
There's
just the two in the
I
front.
described 5 that were near the tower, but there were only 2 that were specifically like going to be in the way of you like just go walking right in.
Oh, okay. Never
I,
mind.
I imagine in my head at least, in my head the way I'm seeing it is like the other abominations that you pointed out. I mean, saw as you kind of made yourself around, are like scattered on the other sides of the tower.
Okay, never mind. I'm gonna hold off on that
Yeah, I
one.
only attacked
that
one though.
That it's all cool. You can pull that back.
Instead, she's gonna cast her hand on her little pouch of rocks as it starts to glow, like the
Catapult?
rocks start to glue from within it, and she grabs a rock, feels its weight, looks at them, throws it up, grabs her staff, and baseball hits that rock.
And you just hear
And
the classic sound of like a wooden baseball crack, just like as it just like, and you hear the wee sounds of the audience cheering as I'm just kidding,
Home run.
Home run. Yeah, exactly. The rock. What are you casting a spell right now?
no. I casted a cantrip called Magic Stone on my pouch of stones.
Okay.
What that does, you touch 1 to 3 pebbles and infuse them with magic. You yourself can make a ranged spell attack with one of these pebbles by throwing it or hurling it with a sling. If thrown, it has a range of 60 feet. It's supposed to be a couple of you spell attack ability.
You're starting to cut out again. You started strong, but halfway through it starts to become muffled. Like I don't know if your microphone's covered or what.
You're good. I just have to keep like right here. Wait, where's my charge at? Real quick. 23. Fuck it, that works. 1 second. Okay, so you touch 1 to 3 pebbles and imbue them with magic. You or someone else can make a ranged spell attack with one of the pebbles by throwing it or hitting it with a string. If thrown, it has a range of 60 feet. If someone else attacks with the pebble, the attacker adds their spell attack ability modifier to not the attacker's to attack roll. On hit, the target takes a bludgeoning damage equal to 1d6 plus your spell attack ability. Hit or miss, the spell then ends on the stone. You can cast a spell again. The spell ends early on any public spell effect.
Cool. All right. So with all that being said, everyone roll your respective damage. Also, Evan, excuse
20.
me, Raiden, did you describe the way you wanted to fucking deck this guy? With
No,
your
I was gonna
gauntlet?
ask if I could.
Yeah, please. I would like you to, so I could kind of wrap it all up.
So Raiden, like just thunderous, like with the like rolling thunder, just runs up and like puts up one gauntlet and just like in a fist, arcs of like purple lightning just coalesce around the gauntlet.
Cool.
And he like with like a full body twist, his gut punches this guy, this like abomination straight into the wall, as then his pot then like hits it with a blast of magic.
Hell yeah. What is the color of magic that the pot creates as it blasts it?
Just a little black orb.
Okay. As this huge like surprise attack comes down, you see Raiden charge in with the thunderous steps of the heavy amount of armor that he's wearing around his person. Uppercuts into the gut of the abomination, like sending it into the wall, and you see some of the bricks become slightly loose. One even jiggies out and falls down. Right as that contact is made, you watch as both of the abominations are lit up in flame as you just hear them going, "Aah!" And the other one would be whining, except like you must have broken a couple of ribs and it's piercing its lungs because it's like struggling to breathe right now. And right as the immolation is happening in front of you, you watch as a magical blue glowing stone, like the perfect stepping stone. Like, it's a shame it was used for the spell. As it flies through the air, you hear the crack of that baseball bat sound as it goes through one abomination's head and stops about halfway through the other one, and they both just kind of like fall down dead.
That was badass.
As that happens, you immediately smell the flesh of burning abomination, and all three of you at this point, if you choose to, the two of you choose to approach with Raiden, will notice that the flesh that's burning on the abomination is burning much faster than like it actually should. It almost looks like it's not burning as fast as paper, but it like really is starting to peel away pretty quickly. Like, you guys get the sense that like these guys do not like fire at all.
That's useful.
Question just for context and RP's sake.
Sure.
Are abominations undead?
They are like, they have their own unique abomination tag, but they are like, as far as like turn undead and things of that nature, they are considered undead in terms in the sense of like, if you use turn undead, that would apply to them, but they're not inherently undead, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Okay.
Raiden, before they like are in earshot, just says, "I hope it was quick."
You as you say that, they were dead well before they hit the actual earth, but you feel comfortable that the message was passed nonetheless. As the two of you and the rest of the group, Zafriel is leading Endless and Pocket behind him. What would you guys like to do? You're all now gathered out front of the only entrance to the tower, unless if you want to try and scale it somehow to enter by the roof.
Nope. Raiden's just gonna walk through the front.
Can you put on some spoopy music?
Spoopy music.
Troxy's gonna stay kind of back just for now, kind of back. But she's she's got her little pouch open, and she's got her stick, like her arms behind her, like the stick on her back shoulders with her arms around it. She's just getting ready to little league it.
All right. You just kind of Human Torch style, your hand just becomes flame.
Both of Raiden's gauntlets glow like out of one of his fingertips, just like a flashlight, and has it spreads light in a 30-foot radius.
Oh yeah, you guys are just glowing right now. Like it's like there's so much light being produced. Some might even consider sunglasses.
And at the same time, Raiden also seems to have almost a magical layer of arcane over his armor as he casts a defensive field.
Ooh, what does that do?
It gives him temporary hit points.
Equal to
his level in this class. Blah blah blah. Okay, just equal to his level in this class. So 8.
Right on. Cool. All right. So, bing bong bang. The Fellowship strikes the tower. The abominations are dead. The corpses are now beginning to stop burning so consistently and come to a smoldering stop as the last bit of burnt flesh enters your nostrils. You look at the door in front of you. You, all standing near it, kind of clustered together, the three of you, and then Pocket, Zafriel, and Endless just shortly behind you. What do you all want to do?
I walk through the front door.
You go for the door? your sort of robotic hand almost like breaks the metal handle that is like already loosely attached, and sort of pull it open. And as you pull it open, you are hit with a very like familiar scent that like smells like home, as death just pours out of the tower, and it wafts like a butcher that like its like walk-in freezer had like gone bad. Do you enter, or do you wish to stand in the threshold?
I enter.
I fall behind.
As the three of you make it in, Zafril stops with Endless and Pocket just at the threshold, just to wait for you guys to create more distance so they can kind of fall in. Troxy, you immediately point out the open trapdoor that is obvious to the two of you now that are looking at it. The trapdoor is like about 3 feet wide and is a perfect square. And you see a staircase that appears to be, the first couple stairs appear to be made out of stone until it turns into just like wooden slats. But also, everyone make a perception check as you guys are sort of entering the space. Once it wafts out and the door is left open, the smell of rot definitely persists, but there's sort of like a mustiness that now you're starting to pick up on now that you're spending more time here in the tower itself.
I got a 23.
Okay, Fia? And Raiden?
21.
Troxy and Raiden, you both notice that, like, this definitely appears to be somewhere where someone or something was doing research, because you clearly see that there are research papers scattered amongst the floor. Fia, you also notice this as you picked up one, and are you proficient in Arcana? I can't remember. Okay, so as you kind of look at the page, it doesn't really mean much to you. You get the sense that it's like mathematical sort of like arcane sort of equations, if you will, but the two of you, as you're sort of kind of moseying around, as you kind of pussyfoot around the trapdoor essentially in the middle of the room,
Yeah.
you roll, both of you roll a d6.
One.
6.
Oh, sorry, just for Raiden and Troxy. You said 5. Who said what?
I said 6.
6? What was
One.
that? 1? 6 and 1? As you are walking around and you sort of like dig through some of the rubbish, you see, like, first of all, this place looks like it's been picked clean. Like, there also appears to be like a small layer of dust on the tables that are like kind of scattered about this room. One of them, however, is sort of flipped over and the legs are kind of broken in. You end up finding a journal that you assume used to have like a bunch of paper in, but has like lost all of it, and there are only 6 pages left. It's not necessarily something you can't comprehend, but after reading, like, briefly reading through a couple of the pages, it seems to be talking about the afterlife in some sense, but it's very cryptic, and you'll have to spend more time to get a better look into potentially what it is that you've just found.
Interesting.
And
I'll spend time reading that.
Raiden, as you look around, you notice as you are sort of going over to one of the tables, all the tables in the room are wooden except for 2, they're like kind of like working tables, if you will. They're very wide and have a sort of a chromatic surface that gives it would give a reflection, but the amount of dust and grime that's built up in this room and corrosion that you've now are also starting to notice around the table legs, it doesn't really sport much of a reflection, if anything at all. And as you're sort of like moving around piles of broken glass, you notice that under a pile of like rubble that must have fallen from the ceiling, you see a small wooden box, and as you open it up inside, you find at first sight appears to be a flawless ruby gem. But with your magical tinkering background, you immediately pick up on a sort of like magical essence, if you will.
Can I pick up on the kind of magical essence?
Make an Arcana check, please.
Sure.
Absolutely.
16 using my genius Turk feature. Flash of genius.
Doing what exactly? What does that do?
When you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an ability check or saving throw, you can use your reaction to add a +5 to the roll. So it was a 6 plus a 5 plus a 5.
Oh, gotcha.
And I can only do that 5 times per long rest.
Okay. As you like are looking at this gem, you kind of like pull it out. Your visor's like I like to imagine has like little arcane sort of like HUD display, maybe.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, like kind of looks in closer at it.
Right. And as you look closer at it, you get the sense that maybe evocation, but it's like kind of like floating around abjuration. It's like you feel like you're just right on the tip of your tongue. You might need a little bit more time to focus on it and to kind of get a better idea of what its magical property is.
He takes it and puts it in his bag of holding.
So, as you guys are taking a few minutes to sort of like mosey around in the room, Zafriel at this point takes a step in, Endless and Pocket following after, Pocket closing the door behind him. Should I lock this?
I would.
Alright. And he just grabs like a broken piece of wood from one of the tables nearby and just kind of puts it in through the door handles. I don't think those things are getting in here.
Troxy kind of laughs, and she kind of puts on a goblin accent. She's not speaking the language, and she goes, "Yeah, maybe if we just like give a little bit of a nudge." And she like waves her hand as like the earth in front of the door kind of go like this and creates a ledge of solid earth. So the door is like like a little. Like
okay, like a doorstop.
Yeah, but like completely from one end to another.
Wow! You're gonna have to show me how to do that someday. Zafriel, that's pretty cool, right? And Zafriel at this point is now taking that same stance he did earlier with his sort of chin, just higher, just a little bit higher than normal, with his hands behind his back, clasped together, and he just starts to slowly pace around the room. Well? And he just looks at the three of you who are now kind of just finishing, kind of going through this room with, whatever's left in it. Doesn't seem like a lot is.
Yes. She kind of like does like a salute stance, and she like puts her arms behind her back. Doors are secure, and they are in the basement, sir.
He looks over at the trapdoor. Where is everyone standing in relation to this room? So just a quick recap. the room is like 40 feet in diameter, and it's not a perfect circle, but it's nearly. There's 4 wooden tables. 2 of them are still standing. The other 2 are either broken or lying on their sides. And there's 2 iron, like, kind of like a chrome sort of like surface iron work table. The place is just trashed. A lot of the stuff has either been looted or gone through. It's hard to tell, like, it's hard to even tell, like, who was here last because of the amount of dust that's left on the tables. With all of that, there's in the center of the room the stairs that go down into the basement. Zafra looks over at you, Fia, and gives you a stern look. How do you respond with a look as he makes eye contact? He nods back. Well, what's it going to be?
I opened the door. Was it already open?
Yes.
I start going down the stairs with my handler.
You watch as Fia takes a very courageous 3 steps forward as her 3rd step sinks her about 6 inches down further into the ground. And right as you're about to lose contact with her face, it is then backlit with the flame that's then produced with her hand as she goes below. Does anyone go after?
Yeah, Raiden follows behind with his glowing light hand.
Raiden, you just barely fucking fit. In fact, can you just roll an acrobatics check? And I'm going to say it's at disadvantage just because of the bulky size. And I just want to see how hard it is for you to squeeze through. The DC is 14.
Well, I rolled a 14 and a 15 plus 3.
Great. You do hear the sound of like stone and masonry just kind of like,
Yeah, it's creeping.
and you do hear like sounds of metal kind of go. You hear some of it kind of like forming around it, but for the most part, you're able to kind of like Winnie the Pooh yourself out on the other side of the staircase.
Tight squeeze.
Right as he says that, Zafra looks over at you, Troxy, as he begins to walk a little closer to the middle of the room. He continues to look at you. He stops about 3 feet away from the trapdoor.
Troxy looks at make sure the door again and make sure it's secured, and she runs on into.
Right before you run into the trapdoor, you hear Endless go, "Hey guys, I'm just going to take a look around. I'll be right back." And he removes like the log. Pocket, do you wanna? I think I heard. Okay, I think I heard something. Nobody freak out. Those things are weak. We're fine. He just opens the door. Hold on. I'm gonna make a roll perception check real quick. He kind of looks around. There's a pause. Do you wait at the top of the stairs?
Yeah, I'm looking at him to see what he might do.
He just kind of puts his hand up. Okay. Alright, we're good. He kind of slams the door. Okay, so there are quite a few out there now, but they don't seem to be coming towards the tower. They seem mostly interested in our caravan. I don't think they can really do much. I wouldn't be worried, but I'll keep an eye.
She resecures the door with Mulder again, and she looks as Afriel nods, and she goes on down.
Right as you step foot, you feel. Are you barefoot?
Yeah.
The stone that you're stepping on, and then eventually wood. The wood creaks, but there are sections of the wood that are like very compromised. That it almost looks like termites have been eating at it, but the wood looks like eroded in a way you've never seen in your whole life.
Troxy, with kind of horror, as if you like tries to use her failed comedic skills as a deflection. She just goes, she's like, how far away is Gabrielle?
So you made it like your head just went lower with the stairs, and as you look over his shoulder, he's putting his hand up on the trapdoor, like motioning that he's going to start coming down.
She looks back at the wood. She like mutters under her breath.
Disgusting.
He says, "What was that?"
Nothing. The wood is just like filled with like a whole bunch of little pee-pee colonies. Termites, yeah, eating all the wood. Be careful. Be careful, sir. Be careful. And then as like she starts to walk, she says, disgusting.
Can you actually? Are you trying to be heard?
Push to talk.
Are you trying to be heard, or are you trying to like not be heard? I'm trying to determine how high the DC is for his perception check right now.
She's kind of making a comment with herself, and she's not trying to like. She's a little too scared to like broadcast humor, like that.
Zafriel's too consumed in the moment to like really catch on to any of your type of humor right now, and it goes right over his head. He doesn't hear a fucking thing. But right as you finish that sentence, as far as the timeline is concerned, Fia, you just barely get to the bottom of the stairs, and I mean you have dark vision, so you don't necessarily need the flames to see. But as your flames light up the space, you hear a slam, a huge piece of wood, and you hear Zafriel scream out in pain, and you look up right behind you, Troxy, as you see Zafriel's arm is like caught in between for whatever reason has slammed down, and his arm is like wedged in between it, and he's just screaming out his pain, and you see his arm struggling to move.
The trapdoor?
Yes.
I immediately use mold earth to push the door off him.
Make a wisdom check.
A most unfortunate turn of events.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's just what Raiden says.
No, I know, and that's what the DM said in
Modified 20.
What?
Modified 20.
So, right as you turn around, you like push the earth, but there's not. Does mold earth affect things that aren't earth around you?
Well, you said that the top floor we walked on was stone.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. I'll let that slide. Sure. Why not? So you're able to like use the mold earth to like kind of like give him enough room where his arm can kind of move freely for just a second, but it's not enough for him to like pull it free. And right as that happens, Fia and I'm going to say Raiden, you're like maybe halfway down the stairs, which, mind you, are barely supporting your weight. You can every step you take is like very concerned that the wooden stairs might break. Fia, you notice in this room there are 4 braziers that are on the ground that are like 2 feet wide, that weren't lit but now light up with a dark blue and purple flame as it 4 light up around the room, and around the trap door starts to have like a sort of like a similar blue and purple shimmer around the trap door itself, and you just hear him scream out in pain. I'm gonna let Raiden and Fia react to whatever's happening right now before I do anything else.
Did she get him free of the door?
No.
Like his arm? Okay.
No, his arm's still stuck in it's wedged, and you hear him. He sounds like he's in a lot of pain.
And then there's Razors lighting up down there.
Yes.
You can go ahead, Fia. I'm gonna think.
I'm gonna say, guys, something's happening down here. I'm gonna go up to the trap door, and I'm gonna try to warm up the hinges so they fall I guess.
That's not a bad idea. Okay, Oh, sorry. What?
Oh, see, while she's doing that, I'll make more little columns of stones trying to press up.
Right as you you watch as your fingers kind of turn into like a high powered welder's torch, and you go up to it, and right as your flame meets contact with the hinge, you see a spark of like arcane energy, and the hinge lights up that with that same blue and purple color, and your simple means of trying to heat up these hinges seems to, make an Arcana check real quick.
I think that's a 5, but
You're not sure what the 7? Okay, you're not sure what magical effect this is, but you do get the impression of it seems like a shell, like a barrier of some kind. Raiden, what do you want to do in this moment?
So during this time, Raiden is just so like in his own daydreaming, like ponder state. He's like, these magic blue purple flames are pretty interesting, and he just walks down the stairs to just like kind of inspect them closer. Just marveled by magical things. He's like,
Do you want to ascertain anything by it, or do you just want to admire it?
I guess he can ascertain they're magical enough, and it's not like anything crazy, so he's just like, he's not gonna check it much.
Okay, you walk up, and it doesn't produce any heat. But it is really hypnotic, just like fire would be, but it's odd how it sort of shifts back from that blue and purple and like in between sort of white almost.
Then he just checks the room.
As you start to kind of take a look around, Zafriel's like, just do something! Do something! And you hear the muffled voices of Endless and Pocket. We're trying to lift! Yeah, we're trying to harness! Everyone push at the same time! And I guess, if you two, Fia and Troxy, wouldn't mind making an athletics check with advantage, we're going to make this a party check from friends on the other side and friends on this side to get his arm free.
Being... No.
2.
At advantage?
11.
Oh,
wait, at advantage?
Yes, because it's like a party check.
Okay, 11.
Oh, let me roll for Endless and Pocket.
So every time after we casted Mold, I had Roxy run with the concentrate. Roxy went up and using she's like at the highest she can go, crunched up with like the door above her, and she's like using her legs kind of using all of her strength.
Okay. As you guys push and push with all your might, you find it hard to push any harder than you are, but in fear that you might break the wooden steps that you're standing on. But you push, and it starts to budge. And you can just hear Pocket cheering on the other side of on the door, and Zafriel is continuing to scream, and it lifts up just like maybe 1/8 of an inch, where you start to get that moment of like, now! And you watch as Zafriel begins to pull his arm out, gets to about his elbow, when the force of the enchantment on this trapdoor is too much even for your strength, and you watch as half of his arm falls down the stairs and falls off.
What?
quick question before I can't believe that just happened, but before that happens, in that moment of feeling like you might win because it's their first time hearing a comrade in true pain like this, could be rage.
Yeah, why the fuck not?
Can I roll a strength check?
To do what?
Like that moment we feel like winning, she starts raging. Can I roll a strength check to see if I can give it a little extra oomph?
No, that the party check was the last attempt to try and get his arm out because you tried before, and the next chance was the whole party tried and they just weren't. You guys weren't strong enough to get it free, and yeah, his arm is lobbed off.
Holy shit! Okay, I'm not gonna rage then.
Okay. Well, with that being said, then, as the trapdoor closes shut, you hear a doom, doom, doom. You hear this rhythmic beating. It sounds like the combination of like a timpani drum and like the human beating, like the heart of like the human heart beating. It seems that every rhythmic pulse, you see the braziers kind of like pulse a little bit with the light, and you start to hear a voice echoing around the basement. I'll give you guys one more chance. Well, not chance. I won't say it like that. You start to hear this voice start to echo out through the chamber, but it's not coherent enough for you to like be able to piece the words together. It's just like gibberish. I'll give you guys another chance to react to the situation you're in before I do anything else.
The only thing that Rock's gonna do is see this happen, his eyes widening. Um, is it his left arm?
You can you say that last part one more time?
Yeah, a little harder here.
Was it his left arm?
It would be. I'll be nice and I'll say whatever arm that isn't his dominant, which I'm going to assume he's right-handed, so it was his left arm.
The moment that happens, Troxy makes a sign with her hands like this, and she closes her eyes and says whispering, well, how she went up his moon, but whispering enough. And what happens? She's calling for a nature spirit to soothe the wound. The intangible spirit appears in a space that is a 5-foot cube. You can see within range. The spirit looks like a transparent beast or fae, my choice. And my choice is going to look like my mom as the great white bear. It's like kind of like squeezing through the walls, like the space that it's in. And it's just licking his freshly new nub as the way of killing.
Can you do this from the other side of the wall?
Button press.
Can you do this from the other side of the wall?
Huh?
Because like so basically, can you see him? Like, can you do this when he's on the other side? Because Zafriel didn't make it on the other side with you. He was on his way down, and his arm, he couldn't get his body in before the trapdoor closed, and that's when his arm got stuck.
Yes, I can because I'm calling the spirit. Until the spell ends, wherever you or a creature you can see moves into the spirit's space for the first time on turn, starts to turn next. So she just has to know the location, because it's not an insight spell. So she just summoned the spirit.
Okay, I'll allow it. Why the fuck not? I'll allow it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just like Brother Bear style. White bear comes rolling on in, spirit all whatnot, and starts like lifting up and nurturing the wounds of a now very frantic and manic state of Zafriel.
Holy shit, man! This campaign, damaging.
So, Fia, what are you gonna do? You see it rolled down about 3 or 4 parts of the stairs before it just fell off the side of the staircase. But yeah, it's like down in the basement.
I'm gonna try and salvage the arm to see if I can attach it.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll a medicine check.
And with the spell, I have to concentrate for up to a minute. So Troxy is just sitting there with that hand pose, glowing green like the spirit.
18.
Okay, so you're able to like handle the arm in such a way and put it on your person where it's not going to be, you know, totally compromised, but you know, I wouldn't be trying to do any backflips or anything crazy, you know.
Smacking people with it. Disgusting! Disgusting!
Raiden, what was the thing you wanted to do before I introduced a new element to the scene?
Raiden with the thumping noise would probably get between his, would probably get to the precipice or bottom of the stairs. That way nothing can get between him and an exit at least. And then just like have the thunder gauntlets like charged up.
Cool. Let me take 1 second to kind of draw the area to give everyone a center point of like theater of mind real quick.
Sure.
Just look at
Can I
it.
see a piece of paper? I have to
Could you
borrow a piece of
imagine-
paper.
You like just imagine your arm, you just lost your arm, and then this big white green bear just forms in front
I
of you.
know,
And
right?
starts looking at it, and you're like, why does that feel good? What is going on?
Why do I like this?
Why do I like this?
What are these new feelings I'm discovering?
Yeah, my God.
Zathriel's mind, disgusting, bricked up, disgusting, bricked up.
He's disgusting, but it feels good. But it feels good.
That's just his new catchphrase. I love it.
Almost done.
The show begins.
Mortal Kombat!
Mortal Kombat! I mean, Raiden is in the name. Finish him.
I love Troxy. She is so fun. I really do adore her.
Yeah, she's.
I like I guess it's nice not playing a character that's got like strategy all written up and down. I mean, I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
playing a person more like pondering than all I was. It's like, but whom?
but like, and like, I'm scared because she's such a pure innocent ball, you know, and I just know Colton and this story, and I feel like she's gonna not.
I'm
like,
gonna
so,
test
like,
you.
Yeah, you're just gonna have a hard time.
So, real quick. Alright, hold on.
Holding on.
So, oh gosh. So, we got this right here is the stairs that come down. Hold on.
Yeah.
You came down the stairs that way.
Oh, circular.
The circles in the lower half are the braziers that are lit up right now. I realize it's reversed, but the squares in the center of the room are the cages that you had noticed before, Troxy, that are empty. And at the far end of the room is a stone table that has, implements that we can say that you were heading towards, Raiden.
Oh, okay. Oh, let me roll for healing too.
Raiden positioned at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember now. Okay,
He was
so
like, no, I still want to get out of here.
what was the total on that healing?
5.
Okay, noted. With that in mind, Fia. So if Raiden is here at the bottom of the stairs, Fia, where are you in relation to the staircase? I guess you can just point to it. You don't have to look at it, huh?
I went back up to the top to help Tucker's character.
Safrin.
Zaffel. So I don't know. I'm probably only like halfway down now because I'm scared.
Okay, what about you, Troxy? Where are you in relation to the staircase?
So she's at the very top, and she has her fingers in it, and she's aiming it where she wants to down the line. And she's glowing like a very bright ecstasy green, and her eyes are green too, and it sounds something like she whispers as she's casting the spell to
I love it. I love
mama. Yeah, I like how her magic looks. It makes me happy.
Well, not really. It's kind of... Yeah. Alright, so... As you all enter the space... I was just about to ask for a bit of a music change, if you wouldn't mind something a little more intense there, Raiden.
Shit got classy.
You see that gif? I was like, damn, that's too good. Sure.
Some battle music, preferably. Is more specifically, actually.
Intense veteran music. Most indubitably.
Right as you guys are Fia, as you sort of go down halfway down the staircase, you start to wonder why it is you are trapped and what it is that could be trapping you down here. When you all start to see the braziers start to increase their intensity of flame, and as that happens, they all sort of fire up into a pillar that stands like maybe 3 feet higher than the brazier itself, emanating from the base. And as that happens, they all start to coalesce almost like a fire NATO, if you would. And as that happens, it sort of coils in the center of the room as it starts to make it like a larger pillar of flame. And as it touches the ground, you watch as a dark iron plated foot step from the flame, and then part of a torso exposing more of this dark ebony, sort of like obsidian almost, plate mail. As more of the chest is exposed, you now see, as the flames die down, a humanoid wearing up and down full plate mail with the helm and everything that looks very reminiscent of Daedric armor from Skyrim.
Ooh.
Could you pull up a reference for Riley?
Yeah, I was just about to
Sure.
Is this creature on wood or stone?
This basement floor is actually mostly earth. There are pockets of stone floor, but it's an unfinished basement floor.
So it's mostly earth.
Check
Mostly.
Jin chat for said reference.
Yeah, let's pull this up.
I thought the music fit.
There we go.
To be honest, I'm going to say maybe less on the pointy, horn aspect. It's more of a focus on the plate mail itself, but there are definitely points that come to the the pauldrons on the shoulders. But as the flames die down, you watch as he pulls from his backside a large greatsword, does a flourish, puts it down in front of him. You will die. Everyone roll for initiative.
Let's fucking go! Damn.
Alright, we'll go 25 to 20.
22.
Damn. Okay, 15 to 20.
18
18?
for me.
Okay. Fia. Oh man, it's so hard getting used to everyone's new names.
I know, right? Man,
So
I hope that we're playing this campaign for at least another 4 to 5 years.
dude, I mean, I've been running my game for a long time now. I don't imagine stopping now.
This is like my favorite part of the week.
So, oh, I need to roll initiative for bad guys. Oh, I just rolled a nat 20 on initiative. Look at that. Can you be my verifier?
It's real.
It's real, she says.
Damn,
All right.
this bitch.
The right at the top of the round, the Black Knight raises his great sword out from the stone that the small section of stone in the floor, and as he does, it sort of starts to wreathe with this black flame, and all of you instantly feel this like awful negative feeling that you almost immediately feel sympathy for because of the visceral reaction your body has as seeing this sword light up with black flame as he flourishes it one more time. Oh, you know what? You said you were still on the staircase, right, Fia?
Yeah, I was halfway.
He holds his great sword in one hand and looks around, and as he stands the battlefield, you watch as his empty hand in his left just lights up with a similar sort of black flame, and he hurls it at the stairs. And hold on, let me roll for an attack. Okay, let me roll for some damage.
That's a lot of damage.
You watch as the blast of arcane power crashes into the very already compromised staircase, and it crumbles. I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw, Fia. Okay, so
Nice.
as you fall down to the ground, it does catch you off balance, but you're able to sort of tuck and roll and kind of land in a 3-point stance. He seems unimpressed and just once again he'll move to the center of the room. So in relation to Raiden, he's like maybe 15. No, about 15 feet away, and about 10 feet away from Fia. And I
Was
can't
Troxy also on the stairs?
I can't remember. Troxy, were you also on the stairs?
I was at the very top.
Oh, we can say you were on the stone portion where you wouldn't have been affected by the stairs because it's like stone and then it's a wooden staircase. It's up to you.
Okay, that works.
Okay, cool. The Black Knight just stands there confidently in the center of the room. As he ends his turn, the flash of the braziers around the room just kind of light up with a purple dark flame, and it's Raiden's turn with Fia on deck.
So Raiden just was ready to go. He was prepared for some shit to go down, and he just is let's get at it. As like a canister, a small canister, almost like a grenade-sized little canister, pops out from his shoulder. He grabs it, crushes it in his hand, and this black mist forms around as he casts hex on this man in front of him. He's
Cool.
like, "I curse you to die."
What disadvantage do you want him to have on his checks? You can give him disadvantage on any check that's based on a specific stat.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, if you chose Dex, anytime he made a stealth roll or anything like that, it would be at disadvantage because he's hexed.
Constitution saves disadvantage.
It's not saving throws; it's ability checks.
Gotcha. I guess strength ones, like acrobatics or something.
Acrobatics would be Dex.
Oh, Athletics.
Okay. All right. So you're going with strength.
Sure.
All right. That's your bonus action. Do anything for your action?
Is Hex a bonus action?
I'm pretty sure. Let me look it up.
Oh, it
He's
is.
gonna.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is a bonus action.
One-man punch him. Serious punch.
That is cool. That is a bonus action. Okay. Raiden then like charges up to him with a thunder gauntlet, shield like kind of raised in front, almost as a distraction as he tries to like haymaker one across the cheek.
Hell yeah. Go for it.
He's doing this as like booming blade though. It's like a cantrip. I forgot to mention that.
Booming blade is a cantrip.
Yes,
Okay.
I brandish a weapon using the spell, then make a melee attack against a creature within 5 feet. So I move up and then schmick.
Okay. All right.
Just backhand him.
So I guess it's just a hit. Like, is it automatically hit?
Let me look it up. Because I'm familiar with booming blade, but not quite. Hold please.
Gotcha.
Okay, hold on. On a hit, the target suffers the weapon attached normal effects and then becomes sheathed in booming energy until the start of your next turn. If the target willingly moves 5 feet or before then, takes an additional d8 points of damage. Okay, so basically you're casting Booming Blade. It's not doing any extra damage right now. It's only if he moves away it does a d8 of damage. So you still roll normal like Thunder Gauntlet damage.
Cool.
Okay, so I rolled a hit.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Whoa. Actually, wait a second. If the casting time is 1 action
And it's only for the round.
and make a melee attack. Oh, okay, never mind. I misread the spell. Continue.
So I do roll a hit?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, okay.
Sorry, this is the first time someone's used this. I've only heard of this spell on the internet.
You're fine. 18.
That just barely hits.
Okay. So he just takes it right across the face, thunder damage,
Okay. And what was that?
and he's
total?
feeling the hell out of that hex too.
Hell yeah.
Let me do damage.
Do we hear, because it's thunder damage, do we actually hear like a thunder boom when we hit him?
Oh yeah. Right when he
Yeah,
makes
it's like a
contact,
clap.
you hear like a boom. It's pretty impressive. And it adds on top of the aesthetic of him being a fucking huge ass 600-pound machine.
Yeah, it's badass.
Okay, so he takes 7 thunder damage and then d6 of necrotic.
Mm-hmm.
9 damage.
Okay.
9
Noted.
damage. Yep.
You have about 15 feet more of movement if you'd like to continue to move.
Oh, I forgot. Since I'm above 5th level, it does 1d8 thunder on contact. The booming blade.
Oh, okay. You can go ahead and re-roll that if you'd like. Oh wait, sorry. Never mind. I misinterpreted what you just said, and I just replayed
Yeah.
it back in my head. Got it.
So 14 damage.
14 damage total. Okay. Are you adding the booming blade damage to this?
Yes, because at 5th level, the melee attack deals an extra 1d8 thunder
Oh,
damage,
I
and if they
see.
move, they take another 2d8 thunder.
Okay, I understand now. Okay, 14 points total. Got it.
Yep.
Did you want to use any more of your movement, or do you want to stay on him?
Yes, I wanted to move away from him.
Okay. In relation to
Back to where I started.
Okay, you got it, man. He is going to take his attack of opportunity on you. And that is a 14 to hit.
Just bounces off the plate mail.
Yeah, you hear like the sound of screeching metal like scrape across the back right of your shoulder. and you just feel the heat on the back of your head. It's pretty intense, but you don't sustain enough damage to like really have it affect you whatsoever. Fia,
Toasty.
you're up. Troxy, you're on deck.
Okay, so I want to check to see if he's immune to fire. So I'm just gonna cast Firebolt. I also have a question.
Go for it. Go for it.
It's just
Oh, okay.
what is this?
Okay.
Why does it
Fancy,
use
fancy.
apply?
So firebolt
That's
is like
a lot
is like shooting an arrow.
You're breaking a bad, but yeah, I can't believe he lost
so you
his
have to
fucking
roll to
arm. That's
attack?
crazy.
But there's
Can you hear
some
me better now?
spells.
I can make him a
like
robo
message,
one that turns into a gun or
where-
something.
It's you're not like rolling to hit. It just happens.
Depending on how much of his arm he lost, I can make one that transforms into like a cannon.
That'd be cool. Am I sounding better now?
Oh, so that's the
Yeah.
difference. So burning hands is an area of effect
That's
spell
so
where
close.
it affects an
Yeah.
area, and you're not necessarily hitting one person. You're just hitting an area.
Just ready for battle, man.
Well, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Like so, if you check out fireball,
I'm about
for example,
I'm about to fuck it up.
that's an area of effect spell.
I'm about to fuck it up.
Right above fly. That's an area of effect spell. But if you cast,
Fucking Darth
What's that?
Vader.
Is?
you know,
Oh,
scorching
the
ray,
interpreter,
that's
okay.
willing to attack.
I was like,
Okay.
all
right, Fia, what do you wanna do?
I'm gonna cast Firebolt.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for an attack.
Fuck yeah.
Fireball, bolts. I choose you. Ah!
It burns.
27.
To hit?
Yeah, I have a +10.
Yeah, that fucking hits.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And you can add your charisma modifier to this one too, if you want.
what does that mean?
You just add a +5 to your damage total.
Why would it be that?
Well, I was just trying to do it in a way that I was trying to remind you and not say do it like in a demanding way.
Oh.
14. 14.
Okay. How do you describe? How do you want to describe how you do it?
I still cast it using my staff, and then I'm gonna have it match the flames and Grimar though.
Okay.
The blue and purple flames.
Cool.
Hell
I like
yeah,
it.
dude.
I like it. In
Yeah.
fact, like as you shoot your firebolt out, you watch as mid flight it like adopts the color and pattern of the flames and the brazier and just kind of like gradients itself before by the time it hits it just is completely this blue and purple flame, and you watch as he just full on fucking takes it. He just gets wreathed in flames until it just goes out off of his person. He definitely took the hit, but doesn't seem like he's nothing.
Is he an input?
No, he took the damage normally, but he's just tough.
Okay.
So you have a bonus action and movement if you want to do anything else.
Do I have any bonus actions?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Is one action.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All of the things I have are one action. How far away from him am I?
You are probably about 15 feet. You're like right by the stairs that are now broken pile of rubble. And he is in the center of the room with Raiden, and they're about 15 feet away.
I went back to the stairs.
I remember, sorry.
You're good.
It's actually just him in the center.
Yeah. I just bonked him one and left.
Are Raiden and I kind of close together, or am I still like in the same spot?
Okay, so
If the stairs weren't broken?
So if Raiden would be at the bottom of the stairs, you would be, oh god, about,
You can just show me.
yeah, you're like 10 feet apart,
So I just am in the same spot.
pretty much,
Okay.
as where you were on the stairs, but now on the ground,
And he's
and he's in the center of the room, yeah. Okay, cool. Troxy, you're up, and then we got layer actions.
Did her healing spell stop the bleeding? Like
For all
the
intents and
5?
purposes, yes.
You gotta click the button, man.
For all intents and purposes, yes.
Cool. She's gonna turn, and she probably for her first time with you guys is badly upset. And she just looks at him, and she just feels this rage. It's not to the point for raging yet, but all she knows is it's primal, and she wants to fucking kill him. And
Real quick, you're also 15 feet up. You're on like a little stone lip that are stairs. Okay, just making sure you. All right. Go.
yeah, she looks at him. She's 3 feet tall. She's fine. She looks at him, and her pupils now have like a green light glowing from within them, and she has these 2 like green balls floating in her hand. You guys have seen the Scarlet Witch from MCU, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm kind of thinking like that. She kind of looks at him, and she just goes, you'll pay," and she does she has one arm upwards like this, and then another arm downward like this with the 2 balls, and the 2 green flowing wisp ball that are really bright in the middle but dull on the outside, and it kind of feels like it swirls. They slam into each other, and she moves her fingers like this as she and you see her muscles are her veins are popping out, and her muscles are bulging, and she's pressing harder and harder, like there's a force between the balls combining in the hands. And as she's doing that, the ground around right underneath that motherfucker starts churning. The stone starts pulling in and churning like a blender.
Yes.
And that, and it's like she's you know what I'm saying, yeah.
What spell are you casting?
Caused a pit of churning earth. So
what spell? Sorry, you cut out.
Erupting earth.
Oh, okay. What's the save?
The save, and we got lucky about you choose a point you can see on the ground within range. A fountain of churned earth and stone erupts in a 20-foot cube centered at that point. Each of the character must make a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 3d12 bludgeoning damage on a failed save. Additionally, the ground in the area becomes difficult terrain until cleared.
So basically, real quick, you can put the cube in a spot where it's not going to hit any of your party members, but by putting it in that, you're essentially making the lower half of the circle room rough terrain.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Fuck yeah, that's a debt. What's your DC?
The DC is going to be
I fell anyways.
13.
Total of 7.
What is it?
Cool.
Is it a con?
Yeah,
Dex.
it was Dex save.
Okay.
So as he falls, she slams her hands together, and as he moves contact, crushing the balls, you have to a burst of NPC from his first hand, and the rock just explodes on him underneath him, and he's gonna take
3d12, y'all. Dude, I love rolling d12s. They're so chunky.
What's a D12 again?
It's the chunkiest looking one. That's not a d20.
Yeah, the one near D20.
Yes, dude. I love rolling d12s. They're powerful.
$21 damage.
Woo! Hey, Chihuahua. Okay. As the earth kind of spits up and turns around his feet, you watch him now kind of yell out, God, fuck! He's definitely not really enjoying his circumstances at the moment. Did you want to move, or do you want to stay up on your little lip?
I'm gonna. Fuck it. She yells out, Someone Say something about my height.
You're quite short in stature. You're like a little stump that can't grow. No matter how much sun it gets.
Can you roll a d20 to see how far I take that person?
Sure.
14?
Add your charisma modifier to it.
Oh, 15.
It's up to you, my friend.
She just like looks at him kind of like a little hurt, and then like this at first he goes like shocked, and then like kind of like it turns anger that vein just like fucking forms.
Yes.
And like her muscles just get bigger and like more complex, and like all the veins start popping out, and she just screams. Yeah, she just screams as he like punches the wall, and then she just fucking jumps up, kicks off the wall, and just launches towards the knight.
Okay, make an athletics check, please.
But...
Make an athletics check, please, and it's at advantage since you're raging.
I don't know if I'll be able to beat a 19. 19, so 21.
21. You kick off of the wall like you would as a kid at the pool. And you torpedo down with your arms right by your chest, and right at the last second do just a little bit of a flip, and you are right face to face with this motherfucker.
And right when I land, I just look up as my like Wolverine style with the arms, as I have claws, and I have 2 veins on each side of my mouth. I'm just screaming at him.
Cool. That's cool.
You know that move is very hard on her knees. Very interesting.
Okay, at the end of your turn, Troxy, you... Oh, I was holding the escape button down, not the right key. As your turn ends, the room goes very dark for just a second as the braziers go nearly out and flare back up, but the whole room turns into a furnace. I need everyone to roll a Constitution saving throw for me, as the whole room becomes engulfed in these whole purple and blue flames.
Ooh,
16.
Raiden?
Hold on, I gotta get the calculator. I can't round that
Did you
easily.
say 11? Okay.
25.
Alright, so both Raiden and Troxy pass, and you all take... Hold, please. That's cocked. Alright, so y'all take 14 points of fire damage, halved because you passed to 7.
Okay.
uh,
Absorb elements.
As a reaction?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. As you like hold up your hand, a sort of like a magical bubble kind of takes it all in. He's trying to absorb it all into your palm.
Yeah, it's like a swirl, like almost a vacuum.
Now, do you have to roll to reduce the damage, or do you just take it in? I can't remember.
Let's see. The spell captures some of the incoming energy, lessening its effects on you and storing it for your next melee attack. You have resistance to the triggering damage type until the start of your next turn. It says it reduces it, but not like how much, and then I get resistance to it till my next turn.
Oh, maybe that's all that it is then. I had the wrong idea. Okay, so hold on, I'm not quite done yet. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Troxy. So you would take, since you failed, you would take 14, but you take half because of your subclass. So that's 7, and then you take half again because you're a tiefling, so that's 3 points of fire damage.
Troxy?
Sorry?
You said Troxy.
Oh, sorry, that was supposed to be for Fia. I didn't mean to say Troxy, my bad.
So I take 3.
Yes.
Do I take 3 as well because I'm raging?
No, what kind of barbarian are you?
Totem warrior.
Are you a bear?
Yeah.
Of course.
Then yeah, I didn't realize that was the case. Then yes, you also take half. So you would take, since you passed, that's 7, and then half. Then you also you also take 3. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I just take the 7,
Go
correct?
to the top.
Yep.
Okay.
And right on the top right there. There you go. If you put it in the half window again, there's a arrow that you can see, that arrow right there. That's the tab that you can make that. Yeah, and then click the 3 menu lines right there by the magnifying glass at the top.
Do what?
After the
All
music
right.
died out.
Oh, this is kind of quiet. How much damage did Fia take? I didn't hear.
3 points.
Oh, nice. Not much.
That's what she's tiefling.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep, tiefling.
Need to make that a note.
Okay. So that's the lair action. At the top of the round, we got the big bad here in the center of the room, and he is just going to I guess since you just kind of sprung right up in front of him and you just kind of growl, and you just hear him click his tongue, and it echoes through his metal armor as he pulls up his sword, and he just takes 3 attacks in quick succession.
He has disadvantage on all of those, by the way.
Why is that?
Thunder Gauntlets, target hit by Thunder Gauntlets has disadvantage on attack rolls against anybody but me.
Till when?
Let's see. The weapon has 4 charges as a reaction immediately after being hit by an attack. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, no, that's for a different thing. Let's see. The gauntlets are blah, blah, blah. Deal thunder damage. A creature hit by the gauntlets has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you until the start of my next turn, so after his turn.
Okay, I'll roll at disadvantage.
Awesome possum.
Okay, at disadvantage, that's 17. Next attack at disadvantage. 16.
No.
No, that doesn't hit, or that does hit.
I got a 20 at DC. I got my armor check. Armor class is 20.
You have an armor class of 20? How?
That's what you. My tattoo of barrier.
Oh, okay, and that gives a +2 to your. Oh, it's the 15 plus your +2. Plus your dex, right?
Yeah, my armor class is 18, and then +2.
And then the +2 from what?
It's the +2 from the tattoo barrier.
But isn't the tattoo? It makes it. Because I was just looking at it earlier today. Isn't it 15 plus your dex modifier? That's what the tattoo is.
Yeah, something gives me 20. Let me see. I think you're right.
I'm just wondering because, like, also if you're wearing, you can't. You have to remember if you're wearing any armor, you can't be because you wouldn't be able to rage if that was the case.
Okay, so I don't have armor. My natural armor class is 16, and then the unarmored defense gives me a +4.
Fuck yeah! All right, cool. Sorry,
Cool.
So the first 2 attacks miss. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, the next attack. Man, oh my god, dude, this disadvantage is kicking my butt.
On anybody but me.
All 3 attacks just sort of they all swift, and the last one you kind of sort of catch in between your paws, and it sort of screeches across your face, and then purple flames sort of lick past yours as he pulls back his blade. He just sounds very angry. He's going to he's going to use his movement and walk 15 feet to the back of the room. Oh, it's
2d6 thunder damage.
That's fine. Go ahead, roll for it. So he's going to go to the back table. He's going to use his full movement because it's considered rough terrain. And he gets to the table, and he'll end his turn. And take what damage?
5.
5 points.
Sorry,
Got
that
it.
just got me giddy. I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
he moved.
no, it's cool. It's cool.
Do I get
It's fine.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
Yes.
Cool.
Raiden, you're on deck.
Cool.
Fia, you're up after him.
Does 18 hit?
18 just barely hits.
Ten. Okay. This is a 10, right?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Well, yes,
Yes.
yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2. 10 damage.
All right. You get him across the shoulder blade as he walks away. He does seem buffeted by it, but he seems much more focused to get to the table.
Ooh.
But he does have a little bit of a limp. He's taken a couple of hits and he's showing some damage. Raiden, you're up. Fia, you're on deck.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Since he damaged me,
All right.
Yes.
So he's like 30 feet out now.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Fia's gonna use her reaction.
Okay, cool.
well, is he close enough for me?
What's the range of Hellish Rebuke?
60 feet.
Oh yeah, he's close enough.
But I didn't know he was in my range to do that.
Yeah, this room is only 40 feet long in length and diameter, so that's definitely going to be within range.
Okay, I'm gonna do Hellish Rebuke on him.
Okay. Wait, was this what attack are you referring to that he got you on?
Well, initially, like, I took 3 points of damage.
Oh, that wasn't an attack off of him. That was just a layer action. That just kind of happened because of the environment.
Never mind. I'll do that.
All right, Raiden, you're up.
Okay, so he moved 30 feet to the back of the room, right?
From you, he is about 30 feet away. Yeah.
Okay, and I'd have to go through difficult terrain to get to him.
Yeah, the difficult terrain starts about halfway through the room. So you need to basically move 15 feet through difficult terrain.
Just checking my options. I can't like kick off a brazier to kind of like jump over a little bit of difficult terrain.
No, I mean, you could do that, but you would just be adding to the difficult terrain.
Yeah.
True. Okay. Okay, as a bonus action, he's gonna cast Expeditious Retreat.
Okay, and that gives you 10 feet of movement?
Let's see. As a bonus action on each of my turns until the spell ends, you can take the dash action. So I can take the dash
nice.
action as a bonus action.
Cool.
So he's gonna move his 30 feet as close to him as he can.
Okay, so you get to... you move 15 feet to the center of the room, and then the rest of the 15 feet gets you about... We'll say 10 more feet of distance will need to be moved through difficult terrain. You're just past the halfway point.
Okay, and then he uses his action to dash to make it up to him.
And you use the rest of your movement, and you're not necessarily hindered by the rough terrain, like your body's plowing through it like a fucking plow truck. It's just the resistance that you're coming up against is what makes it hard to move. But you get right up behind this guy, and without turning around, he just starts laughing.
With my movement, do I have enough to get in front of him?
Well, the table is up against the wall, and he is standing next to the table, so you can't necessarily get in between him. No.
Okay, just I'll try to get next to him then at the table.
For sure. Yeah.
What do I see at the table before I end my turn?
At a quick glance, you see there are candles on either side that are look like they were just recently lit. They also have the blue and purple flame. You see some occult items like very like spoopy sort of things. You do see like a torture implement, but he seems to be specifically reaching for a tome that's on the table. You don't really pick up any specifics though.
Take his ass up and
I don't have any more actions because of dash, but I will like kind of taunt him, be like, I thought you were gonna be tough. You're not quite up to par here. Just as a taunt.
Taunt taken. Fia, you're up. Troxy, you're on deck. Yeah.
So far, getting very VMAC vibes here.
What vibes?
A character I made that's kind of similar to how you're describing. I was like, I'm getting VMAC vibes. Was his name?
Okay. We can say that it's a bonus action if you want to do that instead. Quicken spell.
I'm gonna use a sorcery point to quicken my next spell. It's going to be hold person.
Yeah, so you basically make it so you can cast the spell as a bonus action as opposed to an action.
And then I can still cast another spell as an action.
Technically, you could only cast a cantrip.
Oh, that was the plan.
Okay, so as you start to cast hold person, you reach out and your wrist kind of like clicks into place unnaturally, and you start to kind of do the Darth Vader squeeze. What's the saving throw?
Wisdom
18. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, fuck me. That's gonna be... That's a fail. That's a 14. So you watch as his he starts to like turn around because of what he's got in his hands and locks up. He is under the effects of your hold person.
He's about to get fucked up, alright? Let's just make this real understanding.
Now I'm gonna cast the cantrip Create Bonfire.
Okay.
So it'll create magic bonfire, fills a 5-foot cube in the ground that I can see within range. So since it can't move like this, I'm gonna cast it around him. And 1 minute.
So like he's just sitting in a bonfire like a character in an RPG, just burning slowly.
Wait, so does he make a save?
I don't think so. I guess not.
It just starts on. He's just standing in fire.
Yeah, it's just because I mean that's not technically what it's used for.
Does it give you an option to roll damage somehow?
Yes. Dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
1d8 fire damage.
Okay.
18 dex.
Okay, I'm gonna say
Ow,
I'm
ow.
gonna say it's a disadvantage because he's in rough terrain.
Wait, isn't he being held though?
Oh wait, he automatically fails because hold person.
Yeah,
You automatically fail with dexterity
Dang.
saving throws.
He's just ow, ow, ow.
and you can add your charisma modifier to that.
Oh, so 10 points of damage.
Jesus Christ. Can you roll a D100? If you roll higher than a 60, the book catches on fire.
Ooh. Oh no, I wanted to read that.
We don't want him to read that.
It's 00, so is that 100?
Yes, it is. That is exactly what that means. You watch as he turns around and he just barely gets the crick of his neck to look back behind his shoulder. And you watch as he just goes, like trying to use his vocal cords but can't, as you watch the book in his hands begin to burst into flames.
Raiden just says, "No, the texts."
Did you want to do anything else for your movement, or do you want to stay right there?
I'm 30 feet away from him.
Roughly.
I'll just stay there.
Okay, Troxy, you're up, and then layer actions are on deck.
Troxy is just gonna fucking just Quick question. With when people miss her, if once in a while, if it's could be because her tattoo like glows and it makes like a really thin barrier that the sword hits, would that be okay?
Sure, why the hell not?
Right, so just because it's a barrier tattoo, no nice thin barrier.
Yeah, why not?
Cool. So I'll just let you have that aspect then. She she just screams as Kai is terrified as it's not. Yeah, for screaming realistically. She's not a bear. And she just goes running up to him and I'm going to commit to reckless attack.
Heck yeah.
Okay,
And
you did advantage already because he's paralyzed, so you don't have to make it reckless if you don't want. And if you hit, they're automatically crits.
um, I'll save on the reckless then. I'll save on it.
All right, go ahead and make your attacks at advantage.
How many times do I attack when I'm in rage? Do I attack more than once or
It,
how
you,
that rage works?
no, yeah, you have to be level 5 barbarian to get 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Ah, 19 modified, of course.
19 total for the first hit.
Yeah.
That hits.
She just like as she runs, she just jumps, and her claws that have like has lined with acid. She just slams it with all of her fucking might into his back, and then she just like as she, like and then she just like uses all of her 40-pound weight to just drag the claws down his back.
Okay. Wait, was 19 to damage or that was the roll to hit?
To hit.
Okay, please roll damage, and it's considered a crit, so double your dice that you end up rolling, and
that's
then add
dangerous.
your modifier.
That's dangerous. Okay. That's
The other music was a little too quiet.
Hey, thanks, I appreciate it.
So 4d10.
If you can roll more than 20 damage, something cool is going to happen.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Okay, so it's
Now remember, if you're rolling double the dice, you don't times anything. But if you're rolling just the same number of dice, then you times it by 2.
Yep. Okay. So I rolled double the dice, right?
But
Yeah.
that's what you chose, yeah.
Okay. The damage is plus. I get a +2 because of rage. The damage is like 40.
Nice.
Okay. Wow. Right as you do
I
that.
rolled 40-10 basically.
Nice.
Jesus Christ. Right as you rake your claw, you fly across the room as you see that he's struggling to move, and you take this as an opportunity to strike. And as you rake your hand down his back, you completely remove his helm in the fucking process as it flies and clatters to the ground, and you watch him just... He would try to react in pain, but he is literally frozen solid as if he was a statue. And you just see this like mass of curly hair from the back of the head, a pale blue sort of skin complexion, almost as if he was like drowned underwater. And
This is fucking Hendrickson, isn't it?
Yeah.
right as you do that, the little bit of the head that's cocked back, you can see a deep orange yellow eye, and it sends a jolt of adrenaline down your spine as you instantly start to make a connection between your visions and the color of this eye. And as he looks at you, you see like the only thing keeping him standing in this moment is a combination of Fia's magic and whatever burning will is behind the eyes of this man as you stare him deeply into the eyes. With that, it is now layer actions. I need, as everyone is sort of like taking in this sight, I need everyone to roll another Constitution saving throw as flames begin to erupt in the middle of the room, except now getting a little more intense, a little more hot.
26.
Okay, Fia? Man, you're getting low on your con saves today, man. And then what about you, Troxy?
It's gonna be so bad now. 17.
Okay, again. So that's gonna be. Oof. What's 17 plus 8? 25. So, you, both of you, so, Raiden, you take half of 25, we'll call it 12 points of fire damage. You take 12 because you pass, but then halved again because you're a bear. So that's 6 points. And, you also have 6. Yep. At the end of the layer action, the man now trying to speak spends his turn being paralyzed, but he gets the save against your spell at the end of it. Oh, but you took damage. Can you roll a concentration check for me real quick?
Oh, I wanted to use absorb elements as a reaction again.
That's fine.
Okay.
So, Fia, that's just going to be a Constitution saving throw, and you have to roll higher than 10. Okay, you maintain concentration on hold person. As he sits there and uses his whole turn to be paralyzed, he's going to save against your spell. Oh! Okay. You can look at that. I just rolled a nat 20. You watch, you watch as he just sits there and starts to, and he just breaks out his arm, and you watch as he puts his hand up in the air that holds the book, and he begins to sort of like pat it out, and that's the end of his turn. It's now going to be Raiden. You're up, and Fia, you're on deck.
Hex is a concentration. What do I do since I'm taking damage?
Roll a concentration check, and you took 12 points of damage, so the DC is a con save of 12.
Okay, where is a concentration check?
It's just your con save.
Oh. Hold on. I hate odd numbers. Gotta pull the calculator out from them.
I feel that.
14. I should have known 7 plus 7 was a 14.
14. The DC was 12. You maintain concentration.
Okay. Whew.
Okay, Raiden, you're up. Fia, you're on deck.
So Raiden has just been absorbing.
Oh, wait a second. I forgot.
Oh.
He's standing in a bonfire. So he roll fire damage again. He's still standing in the fire.
Oh yeah, if he ends his turn in there, then he has to. Hold on,
Yeah, because he can't technically move at the end of his turn because he's saved at the end of his turn. So I think it was a D8, yeah.
do I add my modifier?
No, not to this one.
It says 1d8 in here,
Mhm.
then up here it says 2d8.
I don't know.
Oh, because when I reached 5th level, it's 2d8.
Oh, yeah, so roll 2d8.
Does it
No.
Five.
Okay. Alright, Raiden, you're up.
Okay. So Raiden's just been absorbing all of this like fire damage. So like the oddest thing you've seen is like his left hand, his left gauntlet has lightning arcing around it, with then fire swirling, and then this black necrotic energy. It looks like he's an avatar of the elements. Just has all three of these different elements arcing around his gauntlet as he
Cool.
goes to like haymaker this man with a booming blade.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack. Oh, you're already within melee range. Yeah, go ahead and roll for your
Yeah.
attack.
Is there still advantage, or is he out of that hold?
He broke free, so it's just a straight
Okay,
roll.
cool. Cool. Let's see. Three plus 9. So I rolled a 12, but let me check something. I don't think this
Checking.
works for this. Okay, it is not. So it is just 12.
So you go for a similar move that you use out front of the tower. You go for a powerful uppercut. But his armor just full on eats it, dude. That whatever metal that armor's made out of is fucking hard, and it just sort of, and your wrist sort of vibrates a little bit.
Okay.
I'm in my bones.
I feel it in my bones. Then my homunculus is going to attack for my bonus action. Just with a little magical little force damage.
Okay, a little burp.
Does he just like take his lid off and just like
Like he like bows like he's taking off his hat?
Yeah. He literally does a little curtsy bow, takes it a little off, and a
Yeah.
little poof of like a little ball just.
I love it.
Boom.
I love it.
I love it.
He takes 5 force damage.
5 force damage.
Yep.
Oh boy, you guys are really close to hitting this threshold. One more attack is probably going to do it. Fia, you're up. Troxy, you're on deck. Unless if you wanted to move. Did you want to move, Raiden?
Nope.
Okay. So Fia, you are up, and I believe you are still 30 feet away, and it's your turn.
So, when his helmet came off, I noticed his eyes like came up, obviously there's some sort of scroll.
Yes.
I'm gonna cast the spell.
Oh.
Well, damn.
Can you read me the spell real quick? I wasn't expecting that.
Surprise.
Choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. But since I cast it at a higher level, you automatically end the effects of the spell on the target if the spell's level is equal to or less than the level of the spell slot you used. And then make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. On a successful check, the spell ends. So if
Okay.
the spell he's under is above 4th level, then I'll need to do a DC check.
Okay, roll a spellcasting check. So it's just going to be charisma plus proficiency, and the DC is going to be, I'll say 15. Yeah.
Oh fuck! I rolled a nat 1. I rolled a
Damn.
nat 1, guys.
Fizzle and the poof.
That's still a total of 9.
Okay. I want the resolution to come to. I'm going to fill everyone in on that resolution, but I want to give Troxy a chance to take her turn before I do anything crazy. So did you want to do anything else with your turn? As you cast the spell, it fails. And so you have a bonus action and your movement if you want to move.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any bonus actions.
Okay. Troxy, What do you got?
Troxy, like her eyes are like rolled up in the back of her head. It's like that kind of rage, pure white eyes. You see the veins, right? And this arm, yeah, and the claws just sticking out with the acid dripping from them. And she just goes, "You take his arm, I'll take your arm." She screams and she just swipes the right behind where the soft part behind his knee with all her mind going there to rip his fucking leg in half.
God, yeah, roll for an attack.
18.
18?
18.
That hits. That just barely hits. Roll for damage.
Plus 5.
Nice.
Let's hope you can do something significant here.
Am I really like that stoned? A D12 is like this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's not only stoned in the game, she's stoned in real life.
I was 19 damage. Oh no, wait. Plus 2, 21 damage.
I Columbus. Okay. So that you just barely got it over the triple-digit threshold mark. As you take out his leg, unfortunately, though your claws are strong and sharp, it's not quite enough to destroy the metal bits that are protecting his leg. But you do get
With the acid.
Well, that's what you're able to pierce in, and you get the flesh. That's how you deal the damage in the first place. But like, you don't destroy his armor. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
As he sort of his leg buckles and he nearly falls over, almost dropping the book, but he claps it close to his chest, and he looks now over at y'all, and you see a very a boyish face. Looks a gentleman maybe in his mid-20s, very dark black, curly hair with orange eyes and pointed ears that come out just past the head, with a chin that now is also starting to point and come with a nice pointed goatee growing at the end of it.
Huh.
He looks up from being down on his knees and looks at the three of you. I don't know who you are, but I'm done. I have what I need. And he stands up as he grabs the book. He grabs one of the implements that I described earlier off of the table, puts it on his person, throws open the book as he holds it in his one hand and begins to chant a spell from inside of it. And
I thought it burned.
No, it started to burn. It didn't completely burn. No.
Okay, thank God.
As he begins to recite words from this book, the flames begin to pulse with that sort of same energy, rhythmicness that you initially encountered when coming into the basement. And they all flare up, and much like his appearance, he dissolves into this flame wreath as he himself is consumed, much like the Sephiroth pillar of fire, if you will. And as the fire dies down, you see you are left in a destroyed basement with pop marks of fire around the entire walls. Everything's covered in soot. What would y'all like to do?
So he just kind of poofed.
He bamfed out, yeah.
Yeah, he just poof. All right. Most intriguing. All this magic. Definitely some kind of teleportation. Definitely something to ponder.
Is the trapdoor unlocked now?
As the braziers went out with his disappearance, the trapdoor, if you stand up to notice, you don't see necessarily any sort of magical glowiness coming from it, and it's actually at this point you start to hear it sort of being rustled open. It's stuck at the moment. Probably because of some bone or cartilage that got stuck in between the crease of Zafriel getting it pinched off.
I'm gonna use Mage Hand to help it open.
Okay, yeah. It gives a little bit of help, and after just a few moments, you watch as the door slams open, and you hear a voice call out, "Hello, is everyone all right?" "Yeah, Zafril, I don't know if he's doing so hot. Are you guys okay?"
Yeah, we're okay.
One more time, you try and cut out.
You're cutting out.
Stupid ass
yeah.
shit. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. See my eyes. Anyway. Troxy's like looking back and forth, like breathing rapidly, her claws out, covering whatever was inside of him, and she like slams her left foot on the ground, screaming, and then she like kind of like stops and she just goes, "I like frolicking. I like frolicking." And like her muscles start to get smaller and smaller. She like starts to breathe here. She goes, "I like frolicking."
Frolicking.
You're calming yourself down?
I didn't know what you were saying.
It.
I was like, frolicking?
I love it.
Frolicking,
I love
okay.
that. I love that so much.
And she just,
Literally like the sun setting low with the Hulk or something.
and then like as the claws and the fangs disappears, she goes, "Oh, Zafriel," and she just tries because and she's gonna run and try to climb up the using her strength to get up to the trap door.
Can I do something interesting for this?
Sure, why the hell not?
I asked Troxy and Fia if they're ready to leave to hop on the armor. And do you hop on?
Sure.
And
He then punches himself in the chest, and
Mhm.
then repulses the shield and flies up 15 feet out of the
Oh my
room.
god! Wait, so you're gonna like kind of stand on it to kind of boost yourself up?
Yeah. So repulsion shield. If you're hit by a melee attack, you can send the attacker 15 feet away. So I just hit myself and send myself 15 feet away with the shield.
You know what? Like, it's not necessarily how it's written, but like, I think if you specifically took the action to like put it under yourself to like kunk yourself up, I'm just gonna allow that. I think that's a really creative use of the shield.
Yeah. I was like, how are we gonna get out of this room? My strength is terrible to climb. I was like, I'm gonna boost myself out of here.
Yeah, you. In fact, it's so effective that y'all almost hit your heads on the ceiling because of the force from the shield getting you up. But from the combination of like the shield and people catching you up from the top side, we will end the session with everyone regaining their breath and composure in the center of this abandoned research tower.
Fucking just boom.
That was Hendrickson, wasn't it?
It had
I
to
don't
be.
know. You know.
Curly hair, boyish
No,
face,
I-
around
that fucking
20s.
smirk. I
My
see that
question
fucking
is
smirk.
what is it? So Null noticed perception check at the church page with goatee man, pointy ears, pointy face. Blob also had pointy fear, goatee man in its like blobbiness, and then Hendrickson or whatever that was also looked like that. Who's this goatee man? As a player, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, that hasn't been discovered yet.
I wanted to, as Null, go confront the guy and talk about it, but well, I don't know.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
It's I mean, Riley I think technically knows, but from the other campaign, but I don't even know if she really remembers or not.
No one.
Like this pointy chin man.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, maybe. Okay, so maybe it's not Hendrickson.
Anyways, guys, I think that was fun. I think I was kind of excited to see like how y'all like worked in combat with your new characters, and unfortunately we didn't get to reveal a certain aspect of what Rally can do. But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I wanted to hit my 3-element thunder punch. Like I was
I know,
like, come
right?
on! I was like, please hit! I was like, what is that? Like 2d8 thunder, then 2d8 fire, and something else.
Something
like I
else.
was like 1d6 necrotic or something. I was like, come on!
All I know is you're gonna have to up the ante with your fights because like just like our AC alone and our
Yeah, you guys
damage.
you're fucking beefy as fuck.
Don't give him any ideas. What?
I want it, dude. With this new character, I want a challenge. Plus, I want to see someone hit my barrier and it like bounces off and they just get confused as shit.
Well, because like the way to think about it, like I'm sort of getting to the point where now like I'm not necessarily having you guys even really like roll to hit like abominations because like you've fought so many at this point that they're like actual trash mobs now. So like
Yeah.
naturally, as you guys get stronger, you will be fighting deadlier things just because that's the nature of the beast.
But he wasn't expecting it today. He like
No,
good boss
no, no, you're
What?
all y'all's ACs like, dude, like, I mean, Fia doesn't necessarily have a crazy AC, but she has this magical item that like boosts her spell save DC by 2, and
Damn.
like it's just like everyone is just I'm going to have to really be creative for sure.
Oh,
Jesus
you're gonna
Christ.
hate my next level. Artificers at level 9 can enchant every single individual piece of their armor. So both of my gauntlets, both of my legs, my chest, and my helmet can be enchanted individually.
Yeah, man. Tucker played his last character in my last campaign was a artificer monk. It was a cool combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna enchant every single piece with like as many enchants as possible. With that
Hell
system,
yeah.
which can be 3 enchants, so that
Hell
can be
yeah.
like 20 something enchants.
Well, we'll have to revisit that. We'll have to see how that actually works. But yes, lots of enchants for sure.
Yeah.
Question for you, Colt. One,
Sure.
phenomenal session, as always. That
I
was
hope Tucker
great.
doesn't mind I chopped off his arm.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I was like, did Tuck approve this?
Nope, and that's just something that happens when you miss D&D sometimes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I guess so.
I'm over that conversation anyway. Shit. I'd be fine with it. I'm like, damn, that must have been a cool fight. I'm always down for my kids getting fucked up. I really am.
But
Anyway,
yeah, what was your question? Sorry, yeah.
can he enchant a druidic cantrip or spell onto a weapon for me? Like, is that possible?
Potentially, the only challenge that he will run into is druidic magic is divine in nature, and it's not uncommon to combine the two, but like it's a difficult sort of process. It's possible, but yeah, it just have to try.
Cool.
I have a
was thinking
lot
about
of
asking-
holy magic actually.
What were you gonna say?
I was thinking of asking him to. I'm gonna notice his suit, and she doesn't know how to use weapons, right? She only knows how to use her hands. And I was thinking if he could make me like these retractable claw things that go between my fingers, so it's like my claws plus those.
It's like shark
And
teeth
even
almost.
and even if I go bear form or that, it kind of goes with it.
Sure.
And I have the, and it would cast infestation if they didn't pass a check. So
yeah,
like every
yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a thing that could happen.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we were talking about, but that'd be badass.
Well, does anyone else have any last peanut gallery comments to throw in before I hop off?
Just expect a lot of enchanting, because that's.
I already am, dude. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I have a few druid spells actually. Now that I'm thinking about it.
It was awesome. Just honestly, just the three of us was like kind of a cool like bonding moment.
Yeah, I think it's all. Go ahead, sorry. Oh, yeah. These smaller sessions are always fun because it's like there's more intimate time to be able to like more spotlight, I guess, for everyone to be in. I guess you know what I mean.
Yeah, man, I like it.
Well, cool guys.
And
Thank you for playing. I had a lot of fun.
What?
Sorry, Claire, you're gonna have to start over. You started doing a thing.
Oh, I was just saying. Sorry.
It's all right.
Shit. I was just saying. Appreciate you guys. You guys helped make my week. And again, hats off to our wonderful DM and players for making it a great night.
Thank you all. I
Heck
really
yeah.
appreciate it. You guys are seriously the best. I will see you later.
Later, Gator.
See you guys.
Bye.